bebop. Underground will live forever, baby. We just like roaches, never dying, always living.
They used to call us communists for fighting America. Now they call us terrorists to spread hysteria. Let me just say this without sounding redundant. Who the fuck really gains the most from blowing up London? And who really made Bin Laden the man that he is? The CIA and Saudi Arabia did. But that's the past and the future is here. Iraq was a design, so for some people the future is clear. A Christmas tree, pyramid with the star as an eye, like a satellite in orbit watching me from the sky. Every country wants a piece of the American pie, but that means you have to co-sign America's lies. So you can criticize human rights in Cuba and China, but not in Israel or the Philippines and places you find them that are allies of the country I live in, whose clothes are made by slave labor, women and children. Yeah, I know, pussy, we're all part of that hypocrisy too, but I don't front like it's democracy, Duke. I don't pretend troops are peacekeepers that don't murder, and they don't create colonies whose government service, moving them without economics like we share the tectonic plates in your vest are no good, nigga. The weapons are sonic. The war on terror evolved like strands of the chronic, from the biologic to the propaganda topics. But remember, the system can never stop what's been set into motion, like volcanic eruptions on the floor of the ocean. My purpose is to burst to the surface, immersed in the smoldering lava from verses, surrounded by murder mommies, not bitches that's worthless. I cut chicken heads off like hexes and curses. Weapons I purchase make Homeland Security nervous. I run pockets and purses like subway searches, robbing Masonic temples disguised as churches. I'm busy, nigga. I'll leave that one for you to interpret. You serpents are merchants of military industry murder. The beef is heating up like the mad cow in your burger. Fathom the cause of cattle cannibalism. Factory farms are like a fucking animal prison, a microcosm of Adam Smith's capitalism. That's America's real religion, given as a mark of the beast to the Christians. The destruction of Babylon, motherfucker, that's my mission. Make some motherfucking noise, What the fuck is really good? And yo, next year, a lot of us rappers, we was invited to go out to Palestine and to Beirut, and I'm one of them niggas that's still going. Some pussy ass niggas backed out, but we're not gonna give them no free promo by saying who they are, but I'm still going, motherfucker. That's right. Scared of no place in the world. Our people are understand. We going everywhere. The Middle Passage album coming next year, and a mixtape with Green Lantern. I'll cut your fucking head off. Yeah, that's what it is. Give it up for Immortal Technique. Give it up.
was using because my other laptop got hacked. And it was the exact same hack as the other one. If you watch my YouTube, you'll remember that when I was typing 2 different key numbers, key icons would come up. So, for example, if you type, say you type P, it would type PL or something like that. If you press the X key, it would type XY or something like that. So it basically means I was unable to log into this computer. So what I had to basically do was remove something called the CMOS battery on the motherboard, which basically, in every computer, it has what's called the BIOS. That's like the master chip, which, it basically instructs the computer what to do. Think of it as like a starter motor for a computer. So I basically had to remove the battery from this BIOS, because the BIOS keeps track of the time, it keeps track of all the settings to basically run the computer, but it has these settings built in on default. So if you pull the plug and say leave it for half an hour so the electricity goes out of it, it will on boot automatically go back to its manufactured settings, so the default settings. So I had to basically do that, and I was successful just about 2 or 3 hours ago. I wasn't expecting to be successful, but I was. So, the computer worked fine after that. So they must have basically hacked the BIOS and changed something in the BIOS to make the keyboard, because the keyboard was typing wrong even on the boot. Right, trying to log into the computer, the keyboard was typing wrong. So they basically did something to that to corrupt the BIOS, to make it type the wrong things, either by putting a virus on it or changing the code. So I had to do that. I managed to get it to work, and these perps, I told them that. I said I'd get my computer working, because I had my mobile phone, so I did a quick search on that. I didn't want to use my internet on my email through the phone for obvious reasons. But, I let them know. I'm like, I'm going to get this fixed, and I did get it fixed. But yeah, the targeting due to this, because I guess they thought, all right, he doesn't have the internet now. He can't upload because we took out his computers. The targeting. Oh, no. There they go. There they go. Yeah. They don't like it. So, the targeting's been super heavy. So they basically, the other day, they had a guy in a car, and, as soon as I walk past him, he starts moving the car forward towards me. He was basically like parked to the side, and, he starts driving towards me, and then for a second, I thought he was going to drive at me, and then he drives off, and then he just sits in the car. And he's like slowly moving the car forwards, like he's trying to intimidate me. I go up to the car. I'm not fucking about. I go up to the car. I'm like, why the fuck do you just glare at me and then just do that shit, man? And then he's on his phone, staring at his phone, like, oh, I'm just on my phone. And he looked kind of nervous. So I was like, okay, whatever, man. I was like, I just said something like, yeah, whatever, man. Of course you are. You know what I mean? Then the day after that, I went shopping. They were targeting me, of course, and I go back, and they're doing the red theme, the red sensitization drill. Now, I had seen them doing the red theme a couple of days ago, so I wore red. I guess they didn't like that, so they got this dude to. I was walking by this wall, right, and this guy was walking on the pavement, and he was to my left, right. And then he goes to his left and my right. Starts walking straight at me, and then I'm carrying on walking where I'm going, and then he just stops in front of me. So I had a choice, either push him out the way or go around him. And I'm like, okay, fuck this bullshit, because I know what they're trying to do. So I'll just bump into him deliberately. I'm like, you fucking idiot, what's the point in that? You know what I mean? And of course he doesn't say anything, he keeps walking, because these motherfuckers, what they want me to do, because they did this at a certain position where there was CCTV cameras, so they want me to act, lash out aggressively or physically, so that they've got me on camera, and then even if I get away, you know, because it was near my house where it happened, right? They're going to probably have the video put out, and then the neighbors are going to say, yeah, it's him, he lives here, blah, 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 and then they've got me where they want me. So I knew exactly what they were trying to do, so, you know, I didn't hit him, but, you know, he was getting in my space, so I got in his space. You know, you want to fuck with me with that shit, then I'll fuck with you with that shit back. You know, I was like, you fucking idiot, you know what I mean? It was so blatantly obvious what he was doing. It wasn't accidental. And he knew it, because it's like, he didn't protest. He wasn't like, what are you talking about, man? I didn't mean to do that. He just kept on walking, you know what I mean? Kept on walking. It's obvious this bastard did it deliberately. You know, and then they start with every day they've been doing the sirens when I wake up. As soon as I wake up, I get out of bed, the sirens will start up on most mornings. As soon as I leave the house, cars will honk. You know? Shit, it's just ridiculous, man. And, you know, I think they've been using the technology. I forgot to mention this. I think they've been using the technology on my dad, because I told him on the phone, you know, I said, you know, I might need to borrow, because he's got this like old computer he doesn't use from like 2007, 6-ish, you know, an old desktop. So I told him, you know, I might have to use this computer. And he said, yeah, okay, that's no problem, or something like that. So when I got to see him today, he said, you know, that I never said that. So we had an argument about that. No, because he's basically saying that I didn't tell him, and I did tell him. And funnily enough, last 2 weeks ago, you know, he had some wood in the car, you know, because this house I'm in has like this little fire. So we had some wood for the fire, and he asked me, you know, where do you want to put the wood? So I said, oh, I'll just put it at the side of the house. So as I got to the house, he asked me again, all right, so where do you want to put the wood? I'm like, I just told you, can't you remember? He's like, you didn't tell me. I was like, I did. You know what I mean? So I think they're making him forget with the technology to try and cause arguments. So, you know, we had a bit of an argument. It cooled down. There was subtle targeting from my family. I don't know if it was deliberate or not. Maybe the technology, I don't know this time. But, you know, it was there. Certain hand signals and coughing. So, on the way home, they had an ambulance come up with the lights on. My phone was full of videos, so I couldn't record it. I've got a load of videos to upload, which I've been unable to because my computer's been messed up. So they sent an ambulance with the blue lights. As soon as I get to near my houses, they sent an ambulance with the blue lights on. And then as soon as I get home, pull in, there's a milk cart coming up. And that's really unusual because they don't really have these in Britain anymore. These milk lorries. So in the 90s, I remember where I lived, they had them. But they're very rare to be seen. Right? I've never seen a milk lorry, milk truck where I live. And there was this woman in there, and have a guess what the number plate said. Have a fucking guess, right? MI6 was in that number plate. So this woman gets out of that. I just look at her and I just go, that's a good joke. You know, that's a good joke, that is. You know, she doesn't say anything. She just, you know, walks off somewhere and then gets in the little car. You know, and then she just goes out and pulls out a bottle. I'm thinking back, I don't even think there was any milk in that bottle. It was like the old-fashioned UK milk bottles, which are like these, different to the American ones. They're more like, can't really describe the shape of them, but you'll know what I mean if you're in the UK. But she pulled out this glass milk bottle and then just starts walking with it, and I'm sure there was no fucking milk in that shit. Well, Raw Truth said it could be a subliminal message, like saying we're milking it, and it could well be, you know what I mean? Because these people, they do that kind of stuff. But yeah, just basically heavy targeting, lots of sirens, lots of car honking, I guess they hoped that they would silence me by taking out my computer, but they actually helped me because they taught me a lot more about computers. And they also possibly gave me a solution to fix the other computer by removing the BIOS CMOS battery. So, you know, they actually helped me with that. I know they didn't mean it, but you know. Yeah, sometimes it's like, I know they only had malice on their minds, but they actually helped me. And I find that funny because they did something recently that actually helped me, which was they basically messed with Cubase and did something to the inputs on Cubase and made the well, I was trying to record some music, so they basically did something to stop the microphone input coming through. I was like, what the F's going on? You know, why is the mic not picking up any sound? Because I was getting sound through my headphones, through the audio interface, but I wasn't getting any sound coming into the audio interface. And there was a level on the interface, it was lighting up from the microphone, so the microphone was working. So I knew it was something to do with the computer, so I installed another software, which I'm not going to mention here because they'll help them. You know, will help them hack it, so I'm not going to say what it is. But I had to install some other software, and that worked. So these people, and it was actually better quality than Cubase. So, you know, this is the kind of stuff these people have been doing. You know, constant sabotage of my equipment, my computers, also directed energy attacks. I've had to go into the EMF shield, you know, EMF canopy to basically get out of that. Yeah, all out psyop assault pretty much is what's been going on. Yeah.
Thanks for sharing. I appreciate that. Got that all on the record now, so you already know, man. Gotta keep hanging in there. Definitely keep exposing what they're doing. That's why your targeting, in my opinion, has increased the way that it has, as you already know, due to that. So, you know, whatever they don't like, just keep on doing more of it. That's my motto, you know what I'm saying? At this point, I like to pass the floor to Raw True 7, and he's going to touch on a couple of subjects tonight that are pretty impactful. You know, one is his latest video that he has up on his channel, which I will be adding within the description box at some point after the call's recorded tonight. And I'm going to just let Raw tell his story from there and move on to the second segment after that he knows pretty much what it's going to be out. I'm not going to even say it right now. I'll leave it up to him and his discretion on how he wants to go into it. Raw, whenever you're ready.
All right, thank you for having me on. So recently, I was taking the trolley. The moment I got on, I seen a guy with a yellow hat. You know, retired vet. I think it was pretty sure it was Marines. Yellow hat with a. Wait, give me a second. Yellow hat, bomber jacket on. Just blasted out with every emblem. You know, retired vet. And he just kept touching himself, you know, touching his face, grabbing his nose, lifting his hat up, you know, and it's every time I would move, he would do something. Or if I'm looking somewhere and he knows, I can see in the peripheral, because things are more intensified when you see it in the peripheral. It would be flailing his hands or something like that. So I decided to, you know, confront him on it. I'm like, hey, why do you keep on touching your nose and your nose to cheek like it's like a hand signal? Like, I'm sorry, what? Are you okay? I mean, oh yeah, I'm fine. Are you okay? You know, trying to run the script on me, and I'm already, you know, in my head how I'm going to approach it. And I wanted to do it a little different this time and do it more non-emotional, just raise awareness and let him know what he's doing, you know, and not be more aggressive and trying to call him out of him very aggressively, like usually I do, because that's how I do it, because it gets to the point if you are TI/EI, you know, that it really wears and tears on you. It gets annoying. So anyways, called him out, and then right away I tried to let my phone record. It wouldn't record at first. Had hit the airplane mode, let it set, turn it back on. It starts recording, and it's set, it's on. There's nothing they can do about it at that point. And he doesn't know I'm filming at this point, you know. The moment I start questioning, he stops touching his eyes and stuff. He stopped. And then I'm like, why do you keep doing that? He's like, oh, just my face keeps itching or something like that. That's when it starts recording. And I said, well, you know, I'm trying to raise awareness and, you know, what's going on in my life. I've been, you know, stalked and harassed everywhere I go for the last 5 years. It's not fair, you know, and you're participating. He's all, I don't know what you're talking about. And well, then again, you know, it's like, you know, there's plenty of people in this world right now that are going through the exact same thing I'm going through. People who have the genius gene, and let me clarify on the genius gene. Genius gene doesn't mean you have you can go to school and do this stuff. It's you have a natural talent for things that you can just pick up and just do automatically without effort. It's ease, and people get jealous on that kind of stuff. And I felt like I've been targeted because of that certain reason and dissonance, not following orders. What they want me to do is study. And I told this to him, and he's just kind of just, okay, sorry, but I'm not part of this order. I'm like, well, you are participating in this because you keep on doing the same exact things to the T. I mean, I'm very aware of what's going on right now, sir. You know, there's thousands, I mean, hundreds, thousands of that are just going through the exact same thing I'm going through, and they're saying they have mental disorders and that. And then I clarified to them, I respect your service, but whatever expert they're giving to you right now, they're lying to you. The government is lying to you. You know, I lost 2 houses. I've been fired from jobs because of the activities you're involved in right now, and it's not fair. There's overly privileged people who are rich, getting jobs more than we do, or they're related to someone, or they're part of this program, and can't even function and have the specific talent or skill set to even do the jobs, you know? That's not fair. That's all I'm saying, you know? And I keep clarifying to them, you know, if you watch the video again, that will be in the description. But, hey, I do respect your service. I don't want to down you or take you from that. But you know what? And I've also gave him the TI, the professor. I told the example about that. About, you know, I gave him that example of, well, we know someone who's a professor that my friend knows, and she's blacklisted from society, and they keep targeting her and her mother, and she can't even get a job at a university anywhere, Harvard University anywhere, you know, and that's not fair. Why is it that someone that's so smart and can handle everything to the T, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, cannot, you know, get a job, and yet she has to get benefits from the government and rely on the government? Now, you know, and I'm saying that's not fair. That's all I'm saying. And then he keeps saying, well, I'm sorry that you feel that way, this and that. He's all, hey, I'm just trying to get home to my wife and kids right now. I'm like, hey, I would love to do those things. And he grabs his nose right when he says wife and kids and go home and all that. And he grabs his nose at me. And that will be on the video as you watch it. And I'm like, well, sir, you're participating in this program. We've known this program has been around since Kennedy got taken out of office. And what I mean by taken out of office, they took him out, you know. I just wanted to be more, you know, subtle about it on the video. For if any of you guys don't know about who Kennedy is and what happened to him, pretty much everyone does. And then I keep explaining to him, hey, you know, the Federal Reserve is missing money out of a private bank establishment that hurts our economy and raises everything. It will deflate it and then inflate everything, you know. And it hurt the housing crisis, which I was involved in, and I've lost my houses. And I'm saying, sir, I'm trying to give awareness. This isn't fair, you know. people who are military, their kids get to have the jobs, and they don't have the skills or any of that to do these jobs. They just know a certain shortcut how to do things and bullshit their way out of society, you know? It's not fair, you know? And he gets off the trolley, and then as he gets up, he's all, have a good night, I have to go. It's like he just didn't care, you know? He's all running in a script, you know, he didn't want to lose his golden egg. So when he gets off the trolley, he's met with two other people that are crossing, and you know how they walk in opposite patterns, and they say something to each other, but I can't make out what they said. But you know, when he walks by, there's someone that turns their head, you know, and then they keep walking. He said something, and then two other people get on the trolley and sit and watch me laughing the entire time. And that's when I turned off my phone. You know, it was just sucks, because I was really cordial with the guy, and it was just like, these people just don't care. You know, you can do things and have more talent than anyone. And, you know, in the video, I'm pretty much explaining to the guy, it's like, they won't let me go forward for the simple fact because I don't want to follow their order. I'll do the job and if they tell me to do the job, but they want me to do extra stuff, like whether it be part of targeting someone at work, or knowing my rank at work, or a special you know, pecking order, you know, or do this extra stuff that's not even part of my job. It's nefarious and illegal, and you can get blackmailed for it. That's what the kind of thing I don't want to do, and I'm trying to explain that to the guy, you know. And that pretty much just summed it up, what was happening there, you know. If anybody want to comment and have any questions on that, so I can clarify if I've missed anything maybe that I left out from the video. If any of you guys want to comment, that'd be great. Or ask a question.
At what point did you know that he was definitely involved in your targeting, besides the apparent stuff that you saw, just the hand signaling and
from the moment I got on, it was he was on like a not a laptop device, but what is it called, like a tablet type thing, you know, and he was reading and he kept scrolling, you know. It's usually the first thing I notice, and if he's reading a book, why would you keep scrolling it? You'd be reading a book. You know, it's almost like he was reading information and data off. And normal people, when you do a certain thing, they will react and look at you. He didn't react, and I already knew what time it was. And it's just that military presence he brought, you know. Very, very proud to be retired vet. You know, I have no problem with that, but it was just very overdone, you know, and I'm like, you got to watch this guy. And then sure enough, the hand gestures were already coming out before I even sat down, and there was a person across the way that did a hand signal. He got off, and then that was it, and there was just me and him on there, you know, on the trolley. Yeah, and just the presence, you can sense it. I've lived here in San Diego for about almost 10 years now, and I've noticed this, you know, for the last 5 years of my targeting, that the same thing with the military, how they're overdone. They have that certain presence about them, like, yeah, you know, this dude's a perp, and he was targeting me. And you can also see, thank you for bringing this up earlier, when you sent me the email, watch his body language, like he's a deer caught in the headlight, or when they're very interested, like, oh, you got me, they'll lean in. You'll see him lean in. And body language and psychology, when they're leaning in, they're very interested. I don't know if he caught that, and he just, because I caught him off guard, like, whoa, he knows a lot of stuff, and he's calling me out on it. Most people would just lay back and just not give a shit, you know? But he was leaning forward, which means an indication that, you know, I'm listening. Maybe there's something I forgot out, you know? Or what does he know about me, you know? Like, I don't think he's aware of information, how it is today, compared to how gang stalking probably was back then. You know what I mean? Because he was an old-timer, very old-timer. And you know what's very, very weird, RT? Doesn't he kind of look like the guy that was in the mall? That one video? Where
I honestly didn't take a good look at him to be able to confirm that if that was the case, you know what I'm saying? It very possibly could have been. But I'm not 100% and tell you right now off the back that, it was, you know what I mean? But these people operate. I wouldn't be surprised that they use that person to see if you would recognize him and trigger a memory in you to re-traumatize you.
Right.
It didn't work anyway, so it worked enough if it was that, you know? If it was that, you know?
I like to do that.
I rewinded it and piggyback off what you were saying in regards to him giving himself away. Like I commented on your channel on that particular video. That's how I saw it, man. It's like when you had confronted him with the truth. You know, it's almost like he had his hand in the cookie jar type of facial expression. At the same time, it was like a shock look on his face. You know what I mean? It was something, you know what I mean? And that to me was like the dead giveaway for me. I saw what you were saying in regards to the psychological kind of Freudian slip type of thing with the body language leaning forward. I saw that. I caught that. You're absolutely on the money with that, in my opinion, too. So, it's just back-to-back confirmations within that to show and prove that this dude was definitely in the know about what he was doing. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
It's sad. It's sad. But you practically dismantled his whole shit. And it was all done like I told you, man. That one video that I mentioned to you before on your channel where you did more or less the same thing to this other dude in a mall. That you're saying that it may have been the same guy, and it very well could have been. But I'm just saying, that's pretty much what you did to that dude. And that's exactly the mentality and I guess the composed nature that you keep without having to be aggressive. Just come at them on with to back you up. And
they're messing with a call right now. I can hear it. They're messing with the call. I can hear it right now.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Can you
hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Was my
voice being fucked with?
Yeah, it was kind of like cutting in and out. Did you hear it, Nate? It was like kind of choppy. It was like
totally though, because that's what the motherfuckers be doing. They don't like the fact that when we start talking about shit like this, and they know I'm out the room, they take advantage of the fact and fuck with the call and my voice to go in and out and sound choppy and whatnot. Y'all already know what time it is, you know what I'm saying? I appreciate you being on point though, Raw, and pointing it out to me so I can rectify that shit, know what I mean?
Yep, no problem. Coming back to that guy, I think it was like a doppelganger because they look the same. I mean, I went back to my other video. Maybe they're related cousins, brothers, I don't know, but and that's how they operate in this program too. I bet any of you, that are on the call right now would know that you've seen doppelgangers or how they use someone that looked like an ex-girlfriend or a relative or a best friend that used to hang out with, and it looks like them from the back, and then when they turn around, it's like this. Whoa, you look nothing like him. You're just like the generic, fruit loops to him. You know what I mean?
Look like his family members, look like
barely hear you, Jay.
Yeah.
Your voice
sounds mad far away. I don't know if that's dumb or if it's you that's physically far away from the mic.
Yeah, I just said it. They've done that to me with family members, lookalikes of family members, lookalikes of friends, and
right.
Love interests and stuff like that. So they, because they research you.
Yep, of course. I mean,
they do use, real people too. I've had that happen to me several times where I've seen a perp, and then in another place he's popped up again. They do that.
Right.
Piss you off and shit like that.
And it was just very, very odd, and it was weird because the guy was kind of like the opposite. The other guy the first time the guy I was talking to at the mall where he lit up a cigarette, he was very aggressive. I thought he was going to get in my face and try to hit me, because that's what it looks like even on the video. I'm like, oh, I still even watch it like, dang, dude, I'm glad he didn't like get in my face. The other guy, he just sat there, you know. It was like a total opposite inversion, you know. And that's how they also work too, is inversion. They believe in inversion. They flip everything upside down, take you for a ride, you know. It was a very, very peculiar, you know, targeting. And after that incident, the next day, which is today, I'm, you know, getting a lot more heavily targeting as I go into any business right now. Any business. Somewhere I haven't even been, all of a sudden, excuse me, guys. I go in, there's 2 people that come in, next thing you know, there's 4 people in the group, and then another person. And so everywhere I go in the store or restaurant, there they are, you can't get away from them. They'll do the coughing or bring their child around you, like, and then when you move, they'll bring someone else will bring their child around you, or just something stupid like that, or they'll sneeze or do hand signals around you, or drop a cigarette on the ground, just dumb stuff like that all day. It's never stopped. When I just recently went to go eat at this Mexican restaurant, when I ordered, it was just, there was like 10 people that came in all at once. And this is just a mom and pop store, no one really sees them at all, you know. And there was no one in there, and then all of a sudden, just 10 people show up out of nowhere, just all at the same time, but they're not all with the same group. You know, and they're all throwing their arms, talking about it, going, oh, and, you know, yelling real loud, you know, for no reason, you know, get a rise out of me. And, you know, it just made me sick to my stomach eating. I had to stop eating for a second, because I know any of you can understand the feeling when you go out to eat with family members or anyone, or just eating in general out in public. You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah. What's that, mate?
They've done that many times with me when I've been with my family. They'll get someone staring at me.
Right.
Some lunch, go away.
Yeah, and it just gets you sick to your stomach, and then you just got to stop eating. I mean, I just kind of had to put my burrito down for a second and just watch a video and get my focus. All right, you know, stop, hit the restart button. They don't exist. And they do it again, stop, restart, and just keep doing it until you can just sit and laugh about it, you know? Because I didn't want to just, like, keep adding on to it. I hate these people, you know? Like, I got to just sit and laugh about it, because the moment you laugh at it, they get more mad, you know? And then they have to amp it up more. And then you just laugh even more. Like, you're just laughing at a video when there's nothing to laugh at in the video. It's like I do it back to them, you know? And they did not like it at all. And even the workers, they were catching on, because I got... this is the second time I've been to this restaurant, and now they're starting to harass me too. So I don't think I'm able to go to that burrito place anymore either, because I don't want them to poison my food. And, you know, it's a more private organization, so they can get away with that shit more. But yeah, and the moment I go to a 7-Eleven right across the street from it, there's already, you know, a lady in line. She touches the bridge of her lashes, like she's doing it very still and really noticeable, like she really wanted me to see. And she was with this African American guy, and he just walks up and goes, you know, like, I'm like, I don't even know you guys. Like, what's your deal? You know what I mean? I'm thinking to myself, and then out of my mouth, I just was smiling. I said, swarmers. And he's all, what? And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't say anything. What's going on? You know, like, gaslight them.
Well, I hear a lot of TIs mentioned in America about them 7-Elevens. Right? They call the cops or something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, it depends where you go. It's usually just, like, families or friends, you know. Usually around downtown area. All the downtown, let's say, towards northern downtown, more towards Convention Center, or not Convention, Civic Center and 4th Avenue and all that. And they all are Somalians, you know, that's it. There's no one else. Literally no one else. They get tired there. Maybe, you know, someone Hispanic here and there, you know, and I rarely see any white people or Asian people that are employed at 7-Eleven, you know, or even African American people. I don't. Like, it's usually just, you know, Arabic, Somalian, and Hispanic. And it's very, very few Hispanic people that get hired there.
And most of the Arabic somebody as well. Maybe old.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but they are.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know who necessarily owns each one, though. It's almost like when you go to McDonald's, you never see the president or the person who owns it ever, you know? Like, we don't know who owns any of these out here, so. Right.
Yo, Jay.
Your voice is on bad far, bro.
You can get closer.
It sounds like it's almost on speaker or something.
Probably is.
Oh, okay. For the backup recording? It's like for a backup recording? Are you doing like backup recording for a speaker?
No, it's because I'm on the bed and the phone's on the floor. Like benching.
Oh, okay.
I'm just chilling and listening to the phone through the speaker. You know, chilling on my bed because the EMF canopy is not over the bed, so I'm in there, you know, just stop them beaming the face.
Yeah. And I already got a watcher right now, and he's on a phone, and he's parked in the cuts like I don't see him, because I'm behind a tree, and he has the lights on, and I always look around every 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes to see what's going on. It's just natural for me, so I can get a heads up what's going on. He's probably listening in on the phone right now. I thought I heard something click on the phone.
Probably absolutely right, too.
No question,
Yeah.
Also.
Yeah. It's crazy. That was another thing I wanted to bring up on the discussion of that old man, the retired veteran, is I'm like, it's not fair, you know, like what's going on with society. You know, this program, it's making you turn in certain liberties for certain safeties. And that's not good to America because that's taking away liberties from us, you know?
Program doing that.
Yeah.
Like, all they did to me yesterday was try and provoke me to hit someone. How is that making the streets safer?
Exactly.
Making the streets safer? How does that even make logical sense?
Well, it's almost like inversion, like I said, you know. It says in, you know, in the Constitution, it says, you know, you have the right to, you have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. With them, it's like if you have the safety, happiness is already the byproduct to it. You know, you don't even have to pursue it. They're already getting the happiness and satisfaction out of doing what they're doing because they're psychopaths, sociopaths, and they're getting paid to do it. You know, we have to actually go out there and work. You know what I mean? Like, and survive. You know, and literally we have to survive because we're normal people. You know, we're all, everyone that's on this call right now are normal people, have to survive. You know, we have to get through what they're doing to us, plus the natural chaos that's already in the world, you know. So it's definitely not fair. They already have an upper hand, and they're exempt from laws, American laws. It's not fair, you know. They've traded in the safety of the American people. They traded in the liberty of the American people for safety. And we're not excluded because we're not part of it. And they get to be safe while having the safety and security of money without even having to really do anything. And then on top of that, right, hear that? There we go. He was looking at me right when he did that.
They're not making it actually.
Exactly.
So it's just a lie, man. It's just a national security thing. It's just a lie they use to cover what they're doing. Oh,
yeah.
Experimenting on people. Oh, I can't tell you what's going on. It's national security.
Corporate gain, or a step over someone else to have information over how someone works so they don't interfere, or no one will challenge them because they don't like people challenging them. You know, there's a quote that Bill Cooper said, if you are a whistleblower or go against the status quo that is today, or leaking out certain information, or a protest against the current establishment, you are labeled a dangerous man. You know, we are dangerous compared to them. The system can fall very easily with someone who will, you know, listen to them and have a message to give out, because that's all they've done to us. With subliminal messaging on TV is giving us a message. Go get the new car, get the new Jordans. You know what I mean? Like, go chase that cash. You know, don't worry about family. And you know, it's crazy shit. You know, they manipulate us to be in this realm of where, you know, premarital sex overrides the, you know, the marriage concept. You know, the divorce rate is up. You know, get money fast without even having to work for it. You know, they want people to be happy instead of doing what's right. That's the big one for me. That scares me. Like, do everything you can to be happy, and you don't have to worry about being right. Just be happy. You know, that's very scary, and that's what they've done to us, is just give a message. So if we gave a message out there to them, what we're even doing right now on a massive scale, people wouldn't be doing the things they were doing. We would have gated communities. We can leave our doors unlocked. There wouldn't be drug addicts. There would be rehab centers all over the place. There wouldn't be massive corporate wealth and corporations running everything in America and the banks around it. You know, there wouldn't be banks that are literally like, you know, 30 stories high or 20, 30 stories high. You know, we wouldn't have all that. Everything would be regulated. There wouldn't be a Federal Reserve Bank. Everyone would be able to work 40 hours a week and get paid what they're worth instead of, you know, getting taxed up the yin yang, you know, for everything that you've worked for. You should be able to work hard, you know, go to your family and not have to worry about any of these things. And these people have stolen it from us. And like I said, they have taken our liberties for certain safeties. And I agree with you, Nate. It's not safe. They're making it really actually more crazier and chaotic. But what I was saying with them is it's safe for them and not us, because they have security. That's what I was getting at, like safe. Like they have a house to go to. They'll have a continuous wealth coming in, and they can go do the trips with the family, you know, and all that kind of stuff. We don't. We're working for them now. We're on the low scale, you know, and and when we do take a vacation, we can't enjoy it. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I know I'd rather die than do one of these things.
Oh, for sure, definitely.
Not like people. I mean, you act like they're superior to us.
The brainwashing, they live in this boxed up container and think this is the way it really is when it's really not. You know, a lot of these people, more than half of them, probably get smashed in their face in the real jungle world. You know, like, they'd get smashed in the face talking, like, any of these people, if there was no laws on this kind of stuff, something went temporarily old and chaotic, and they're talking shit to you in the middle of a park or a restaurant, you know, they're gonna get smacked in the fucking face, you know? I mean, I'm not like that anymore, but I'm just saying, like, if they were to push the issue, I mean, someone would do it, you know, and people are already doing it. The thing is, it's harder to get away with because cameras and CCTV and all that.
Half of these unexplained murders and stuff, where people just apparently do it for no reason.
Yeah.
These people they do this crazy shit, and I think that's a big reason in the UK why there's more people getting attacked. There's a big increase in violence in the UK. I think it's something to do with this program. Like this, it's something people do to try and provoke you into violence. If you don't know what's going on, and they do it to the wrong person that doesn't know what's going on, they'll lash out, or if they're in the wrong mind state, say they're in a bad mood or something, they'll lash out, and then, yeah, you might get them arrested. You might get Facebook or work. These people don't care. They'll put their lives on the line to do this stuff.
Yeah.
A cult of people.
Well, they're very awful people. It's crazy.
Yeah, well, they say we're meant to be, but guys are just
Sit closer to the mic or speak a little, because barely picking up your voice. I don't know what's going on.
I'll say these herbs try to say we're mentally ill, but to me, they're the mentally ill ones.
Oh, I agree.
No doubt.
Like, I really believe, like, 80% of the world are narcissists now, you know? We got the whole social media thing, you know? Everyone's taking selfies. It's all about them, you know, and they act fake around other people so everyone can get along, you know, instead of actually having a real actual opinion. They're flip-floppers. It doesn't make any sense, you know? Everyone just thinks about themselves, you know? If it involves money, they'll do it, you know? And they're very mentally ill. And if you get in their way, they'll do it all means possible to chase you away or skip out the competition so no one will challenge them. Because, I mean, that's their nature. I mean, they don't have, what is it? There's a part of the brain that controls impulse. I forgot what it is. They don't have that, you know? They have the mechanism to scheme. So, like, well, he did this. Well, I'm going to go against my moral compass and just do this instead. They don't have that. They don't have a moral compass, actually, at all, you know? They're just going to do it. You know, it's like you go to a job interview and you're the empath, they're the psychopath. Most likely they're going to hire the psychopath that's charming and intelligent because he's going to do anything at all costs to get the job done. And he's not going to second guess his conscience, while the empath is going to sit there for 10, 15, 20 minutes, hour all day until he can make a decision and come back to what he needs to do about a certain decision that's very borderline immoral at a job. No, he's going to get the psychopath. You know, the manager's the same way. He's going to do it at all costs to make money.
That's the classic description. And we're seeing that with the coronavirus, because that's a bioweapon. The fact is like people that only care about that's how it's going to spread, because you know they're not going to support or inform anyone about the risks to these kind of things. Dissolution of society, and I can see millions of people dying from it. Mainly because they're ignorant, they don't know what's going on, they don't care, you know, they'd rather pretend it's not going on. You know, I'm talking with my family about it, I'm constantly told not to talk about it. I'm like, this shit is real, man. You know, this thing is killing thousands of people. They just locked down the whole of northern Italy because of it. Basically,
wow.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, this is serious business. This is like World War II or something almost levels of seriousness. It could change the face of humanity forever. So I would say, yeah, we do need to speak about something to just people don't be like, oh, I don't want to speak about this right now. It's not society is. They'd rather talk about what's on television tonight or what's happened, whose football team's won, or yeah, it's not important. This is very, very, very critical. Fortunately, because of how society is, people, they're just not prepared. They don't know what to do. Some people are, but people like yeah. So you're in a level of income and places like that. The whole of North Italy, it's basically part of Italy is locked down.
Wow, that's crazy. We had our first few cases of coronavirus last week here. There's some that came off the international airport, actually. I saw it on the news on my last day off I just had. And I think it was, what was it? They got off the airplane, they came home and they weren't feeling good. And they went to doctors and they had coronavirus. They were Chula Vista, I think it was Chula Vista. Not 100%, or Otay, the same area around there. Yeah.
In New York City, there's been cases that have popped up as well. I think it was like something between the numbers of 20-something to 30-something already infected here in New York City.
Wow.
Shit is definitely moving at exponential rate, you know what I mean? Stuff that Matt of Thunder was saying before, you yourself were saying before, it's definitely seems like it's happening. That's unfortunate.
I mean, at first I really thought it was just just another scare, but there's actually people really getting infected by it. Like, wow, they found something that goes from person to person now, and it's not like something that was like the bird flu and it just stopped, like it's actually going through and through, person to person.
Yeah, apparently as well, it's facing, so it's definitely different strains of it as well. So it's changing too.
Oh, it's mutating?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's how any virus makes it along as they mutate, right?
Yeah.
Like
to mutate to any vaccine you make doesn't work, I think.
Right. Because like
one strain, it won't work with the other strains, it's mutated.
Right.
Well, you guys know it has 4 different strains of HIV in it.
Yeah, I did hear that, yeah. That apparently it has similarities to it. I'm convinced it's a bioweapon. That's Nappy, right? Yeah.
That's crazy. I didn't know about that.
Yeah, I'm convinced it's a bioweapon. I mean, just that thing I read last week, you know what I mean? When it was like, that was from 2010, that was uploaded, and the guy that said China was going to catch a cold, that conference was apparently in 2005, so that's, like 15 years ago. They've been planning this shit, man, for a while, and then we just, also the virus started out in a virus research thing in this place called Wuhan. But here's the thing, I don't think it came from there. I think whoever released it there wanted people to think, it was the Chinese and it leaked from there. Plausible deniability now. if you want to release a virus into a country you don't like, if you release it near their own virus research place, you can say, oh, well, it must have been them. You know what I mean? If they try and accuse you of putting it there. It makes sense, man. That's some real shit, because exactly what it said in that recording, it said it started in China, and then it spread around the world, and they would lock it down. You know, they would lock the world down, pretty much. I think that's what was. You know, Italy's being locked down. Oh, cool. Shit. Thanks.
Hey, RT, would you like me to explain about the video? Or forget?
Yeah,
The skateboarder?
yeah.
So I was watching, going through, people who have had mental disorders and stuff like that, and I came across this one where it showed a skateboarder from the late 90s, 2000s, and his name was Paul Alexander, and he was an upcoming skateboarder at his time. You know, he's been in magazines, sponsored, whatever, whatnot, and just very gifted, like one of the gifted skateboarders I've seen. I've probably heard of him back in the day because he's probably hung out with such skateboarders as Tom Petty, so on and so forth, Jeff Rowley, and all that, because they're all from the UK. Anyways, it takes part in Bristol, I think a city called Bristol, and he, was the best skateboarder, hang out with all the best of them, everyone just wanted to be like him, wanted to do all the same tricks and everything, and one day he gets a call from one of his friends, DW, and he's like, DW, they're out to get you, there's a red car with your initials in it, and they're out to get you, man, you need to get out. I was like, what? And the backstory was he had supposedly he had a girlfriend, and after he broke up with had a bad breakup with his girlfriend, all these bad things started happening where he couldn't sleep, his mind is racing, every time he would go somewhere, he would feel anxiety for no reason. He would hear such things, when sirens go by, he thinks the cops are out to get him at certain points, or he would have certain things happen to him where he's like, if I don't land this trick, I won't get the Ferrari, I won't get the sponsorship, and I'll, however many tricks I land is how many Ferraris I'm going to get, just weird stuff like that. If you watch the video that's in the description, you understand it. And I think what that possibly was, and the part of the video was, I really do believe that was the silent sound spectrum, where they're implanting certain thoughts, and it just keeps going on and on and on and on and on. The repetitive thought over and over again, and he just thinks that, hey, he has a mental disorder. And so when they put him in the mental disorder, and as he used the term sectioning him, he said it was the most scariest thing he's ever came across. And I can share in that too, because it was the worst thing I've ever been through. I had to be in there for a week where you feel like everyone there's out to get you in there, and they are. They're targeting the hell out of you. And he even mentioned it was the most scariest thing he's been in, the most terrifying thing. And they put him on a bunch of meds saying he's mentally ill, schizophrenic, anxiety. But it shares a lot of characteristics of what the target individual goes through. And it can easily be, misdiagnosed for a mental illness but it just progressed so long that he just went with it, you know. His targeting has gotten so bad probably that, you know, he couldn't even get on a skateboard and ride it properly anymore, as opposed to doing all the most difficult tricks that he was doing. He could barely ride a skateboard. And I can share with that same instance, because I'm a fellow skater myself. I mean, the last time I had my skateboard was last year. Even sometimes I had days where I could not even ride my skateboard properly. I mean, I can ride a skateboard, yeah. But some days it was just, why can't I just ride a skateboard? I'm fumbling, I'm wobbling around, can't even pedal right, like, scoot right, you know. I'm like, what's going on, you know? So I really do believe this guy was gang stalked, and he was a victim of organized harassment and covert surveillance, even to the point where it was his parents were involved and friends were involved, his best friends, because I really do believe they piggybacked off of him and used his mental illness as a way to make a story to gain recognition and say, I've hung out with Paul Alexander. They've opened up skate parks, skate shops, been in multiple videos because of just his mental illness. And, you know, he's sitting there in a mental institution sectioned from society, you know, because he's deemed, quote unquote, mentally ill by being harassed by, and if any of you know, if you've been sectioned before, you're going to be harassed to even probably worse than the people who you've been friends with. Because these people are professionals at doing what they do, misdiagnosing you and possibly using extra government warfare, weapons of warfare against you, giving you more medicines that intensify your anxiety and your depression and your reoccurring thoughts that they implemented through sound spectrum, so on and so forth. So yes, I really do believe that Paul Alexander was a victim of targeted individual, and it was just too late, and they've already got him and made him believe that he is mentally ill, and made it target him to the point where he suffers mental breakdowns to the point where he can't return. He's sucked into this. And the video will be in the description. Like it, send a comment on this video, and tell me what you guys think about what I've explained on the video, and if it sounds similar to anyone else who's been sectioned or has been a skateboarder, and all of a sudden you just out of nowhere getting harassed by your friends, or you feel like your friends are out to get you, or your government's out to get you, or first responders like police and ambulances. This is what we go through. So thanks for letting me explain that.
Constantly get exposed to silence, and the number plate targeting. Those are two things they do to me.
Yeah.
Constant sirens and subliminal messages. Like today, you know, I've been a load of number plates with the word owl again. That's something they use to target a lot.
Owl, yeah. And that's a pretty common one I've been seeing too out here. Is almost every 2 blocks there'll be a restaurant with an owl, you know, like on the outside of it, or the inside there'll be an owl, you know, as like a decoration. It's very, very peculiar. And it's kind of like a pagan deity, you know, what they worship in Bohemian Grove.
They like their owls, and
yeah.
You know, they've got an owl fetish or something. But, you know, they do that. They do stuff.
Yeah.
The New Age numbers like 333, they try and make you think with spiritual style. So,
yeah.
That
just trickery.
Yeah, I mean that guy sounds definitely like he was being targeted, but probably they wanted to maybe get him on their side, and you know, used him for advantage. Maybe he refused, and that's why they targeted him. Who knows? But definitely that guy was some kind of psychological harassment. It's very obvious being a PI in the UK. What he's describing is exactly the kind of stuff I was in there.
Yeah.
Two things.
And I mean, it could be a number of things, you know. When you become such a star like that, and something in an industry where it's a big supply and demand of they can use you, you know. Someone wants to be on that pinnacle, whether it be, you know, your girlfriend who got jealous of you, because he said he got in a bad breakup with a girlfriend who, I wanted to know, and me and RT were talking about this, who was her father, who was she a part of, you know? Did she piss off someone that was part of MI5 or MI6, you know, or some kind of organization that's in the UK? Because, I mean, that's where he's from, is the UK. Or did these people knew he was so good and plot a scheme around him to use him to get him out of the way, and also use him as breaking him down by saying he has a mental disorder, and piggyback off of his fame to open up skate shops, get more entitlements and sponsorships to gain more income and revenue, and what's that called, where you have royalties, residual income coming in all the time, while they don't have to do much but just open up a skate shop and do a skateboard piece and have much time on their hands without even having to go get a regular job and skate at the same time like what they do. So they're piggybacked off of them. I really do believe that. I mean, these people...
Yeah, for being, you know, away from me. You already know, man, I'm dealing with shit over here with these folks.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm handling them. You know what I'm saying? So, part of, you know, absence and shit like that. But if you see that I'm not available, what have you, and I'm not going to call if you ask for me, it's usually because of that. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to tend to the computer, make sure that the call is still being recorded properly, that our voices are still being picked up properly, and other miscellaneous bullshit that I'm dealing with over. You know, later on, once it's over. Yeah. But I just wanted to add my 2 cents to that particular piece. And I saw that as I was in real time. Do me a favor, Raw, keep a ear out for my voice, make sure it doesn't get cut off, because they may be doing that intermittently. They were popping in and out a little bit. Right now? No, it's gone now. But it was happening while you were talking, but I could still make out what you were saying. Okay. So basically, my 2 cents on that whole thing was that when the brother was mentioning how he was trying to, you know, I guess warn his buddy. He was like, he saw a red car. When I heard that red car shit, I was like, okay, here we go. They were using the dark NOP tactic of the visual trigger of the color red because it stands out. And that's the color they predominantly like to use with us. Other than that, there's fluorescent yellow, fluorescent neon, glow in the dark green type shit, and other colors that are kind of loud and vibrant, fluorescent and shit like that, because they get your visual attention right away. They want to lock your eyes on whatever objects or people that are sent your way to do a skit for street theater, antic, or what have you. So when he mentioned the red car, and then he mentioned the license plate numbers, and then the letters DW, which I think stood for his initials or some shit like that. Right. He was trying to warn him because he felt that they were coming after him on some level. Now that may have come off as paranoid behavior or, you know, shit like that to people who are not in the know about this program and what it entails and the technology used to bring upon that type of feeling and outlook on what's happening. Because when you're not aware of this program's existence and how it works and what they use to bring upon these feelings and shit, like the technology, for example, silent sound spread spectrum. That is a mind control technology that they use usually on us TIs to try to program us to do shit. basically they implant thoughts that are not our own, and they try to help us, guide us to do shit that we think is our own thoughts or what have you, because it pops up into our mind and then we act on it. But if you recognize how that shit works, you can learn to pick up on when they're using it on you if you know thyself. If you know thyself, then you know that that's not your thought. If you focus on the fact that, well, there's this technology that exists that they can use this, then you know you have a reference to go with. You have set forth a prevalence, you know what I'm saying? To go and be like, contrast and compare, you know, what you don't have before or you didn't have at one point, but you do now. With these people, you know what I'm saying, I'm pretty sure that they had the ability to do that to him back then. And they were guiding him to his own demise. You know what I'm saying? The young brother was super talented. I mean, this kid was amazing. The shit that I saw him doing, balancing the skateboard on his back while he was holding the skateboard, flipping it from the ground. I mean, this guy had precision, accuracy. He was defying the laws of fucking physics, bro. That shit was incredible, you know, as a skateboarder. I'm not into that stuff, but I respect those that do it. Because I know that shit, not just anybody can do that. Like I was mentioning to Raw, my memory of that particular thing with skateboarding for when I was a kid and I was in the park locally and I set foot on a skateboard and I bust my ass so hard that I said, oh, fuck, you know, because it hurt, you know what I'm saying? As a kid, fuck it, you know, the pain and shit like that. That was the last time I ever set foot on a fucking skateboard. So I was more of a bike kind of guy anyway, so I stuck to that, you know what I mean? But anyway, I know that shit is no joke. I got video games that go back to the skateboarding and all that stuff. So I know how it works. I know the names and tricks through the video games, like ollies and shit like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. All that stuff. So as I was watching this brother and his story unfold, I was like, man, that's fucked up, man. Yeah. Finding myself while I was watching him smiling when he was doing the tricks, when he was, you know, before he got sectioned or what have you. And then I was like, finding myself getting pissed off because I know that wasn't him, that was them. Yeah, these thoughts in his head, making him feel the way he felt. You know what I'm saying? Doing the shit that he was doing that wasn't, quote unquote, normal behavior. And that just pissed me off because they took away what he was great at the time. You know what I'm saying? They wanted to stop him. They wanted to block him because on top of him being super fucking talented, he was intelligent, he was charismatic, and he seemed to have positive influence on his friends. All those things are considered threats to these cocksuckers. Yep. So I believe that they wanted to make sure that he didn't get to a certain level, because if he did, they probably figured he would help his friends out and put them on with what's going on, because he was a natural rebel type. So he would rebel against the system of things. Anyway, they knew this. So they sent out the Sentinels, meaning they sent out the gang stalkers, they sent out the fucking program to try to drive him crazy, dismantle his life as he knew it, which they were unfortunately successful. And that pisses me off because it's like, you know, shit like that gets my blood boiling, because that's why these calls are so fucking important to do. To spread awareness, to educate other people on this program's existence and how they go about fucking doing this shit. You know what I'm saying? And as I was watching that shit, I realized, I was like, damn, you know, they got to him in a point in his life when he was getting fucking, he was up there, put it like that. He was good in cover. Yeah, but he was up there with Tom Petty, bro. He actually was narcissistic. He was a humble cat, but he still kept it down to earth type shit. And he was just like a loose cannon, put it like that. Yeah. I can relate to that. You know what I'm saying? So when I saw that, it triggered something in me to remember when I was an adolescent and I got fucking put in a psych ward. And they kind of forced themselves to give me medication when I didn't want it. And I recall the nurse practitioner at the time, due to the fact, unbeknownst to my father, may he rest in peace, he didn't know no better at that time. You know what I'm saying? He was just thinking that they were going to help me, which was bullshit. But at that time, he didn't know. I didn't know shit, obviously. So I'm in the hands of those people in the hospital as an adolescent. And basically, what this nurse practitioner was telling me was, you could do this the easy way or the hard way, which is basically you could take it by mouth, through liquid form, making sure you take the medication, or we could call the orderlies. The orderlies were these big football player-looking motherfuckers dressed in white. These motherfuckers basically hold you down so the nurse could shoot you with the injection, which is called an IM. IM stands for intramuscle, which is basically a shot in your ass. You know what I'm saying? Not in your ass, but on your ass, like, you know, the butt cheek area.
On the cheeks, yeah, and the buttocks.
So, with that, I was like, okay, well, I don't want that shit. I was a kid then, but I wasn't stupid, so I was like, fuck it. I'll just take the shit. And I regret it to this day, because I knew that that shit did something to me that more than likely never left me the same. Even though I'm much sharper than I was years ago when I was on the street drugs like cocaine and, you know, alcohol and weed and cigarette smoking and all that.
Yeah, they're fucking with the call.
Doing that shit, but because I stopped all of that now and I'm clean. However, I know that that shit marked me. So, whether it was codes, because those medications are made up of codes. So I spoke to T.I., who happens to be a nurse too, and she told me that medications are like codes. The same way serial numbers and barcodes and computers and shit like that, medications are too. So they can zero in on that type of chemicals that are in your brain chemistry, and I think they can GPS you that. So I wouldn't be surprised that that's one other way of them being able to track people like us.
Wow, that's some out there shit.
Besides of the squad here, but anyone who's been sectioned before in their life, like I have as an adolescent. So going back to that brother, Paul Alexander, you know, I realized another thing. I was like, yo, these people made sure that they took him down while his quote-unquote star was rising. You know what I'm saying? They wanted to make sure that they could block him because I'm pretty sure they knew he wouldn't sell out. So if they couldn't bargain with him, they couldn't do it any other way, then they had to force it on some level. And what better other devious, devilish way than to put him in this program, unbeknownst to him, knowing about it. This is my opinion.
Like indoctrination.
It's fact. I'm not saying that that's exactly what happened, but I wouldn't be surprised that I'm not too far off from what actually the brother. Now,
hey, they keep messing with the call.
7, and for him sending that particular,
They're messing with the call.
I'm assuming you felt the same way.
No, they put you off.
They cut who off, Raw?
No, they cut you off. They were like, they were messing with the call. Yeah, I was trying to tell you that. You probably couldn't hear me.
I didn't.
Yeah.
Okay,
I was listening. They going around. Okay. You were talking about Paul Alexander when he wasn't listening, because he would have been like someone that would rebel against around that premise.
So they knew his star was rising, you know what I'm saying? And being that his star was rising, they knew that he would not listen. They tried to get him.
They did everything they could.
Took it as well as someone that was a rival.
And they were successful at bringing him down that way and dismantling his career before he even got a chance to truly flourish. Did y'all hear everything I just said?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got it.
Okay, so basically, in a nutshell, they got rid of him through this program. And that is why it's so important that we do what we do on here to expose these motherfuckers, to expose how, what, where, when, how, and why. Because people who don't know about what's actually happening and taking place behind this program is the same people who later on are like, yo, but what the fuck? How did this happen? How did this person become like this all of a sudden? Yo, let me tell you something, man. Ain't nobody just gonna become a paranoid schizophrenic at age 40 or 35 or 25 even. This shit starts early. Starts at 17, 18 years old up to your early 20s, like up to 20, 21. Between 18 to 21 is when that shit starts really developing. You don't get that shit at fucking 30 or 40 or 50 or 60. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
This is how you can scientifically and psychologically prove that shit is fucking bullshit. You know what I mean? But they're gonna stick to what, quote unquote, their stories are, because it doesn't benefit them to come out and say otherwise. On top of the fact that this brother seemed to, you know, have aspirations to probably do other things than skateboarding. And for all he knew, he probably was going to be something in regards to politics, man. I'm not saying he was, but with the way I saw him with friends, the way I saw how he was like a natural, I mean, he was very charismatic and shit like that. I could
witty too,
going into a field that would help people in the future. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Or even just when you said political, it could be just pushing weight in the skateboarding industry, where making your own magazine, you know, you might take out Thrasher magazine or some shit, put someone out of business.
Sufficient. It would be like not having to bow to these people, to the corporate motherfuckers.
Exactly. Nailed it, you know.
What actually happened to him, though? Did he ever get out of that system?
He's still mentally ill. He's still in a
information. I don't.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know particularly still now, but as far as I know, he's still mentally ill. He visited his mom. We went to go live in Bristol, you know, and it just wasn't working out. You know, he just felt like the world was out to get him, you know, but what I don't know, I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to go watch the video again, see if there's anything I can notice targeting-wise, because I skimmed through it again. I kind of didn't see anything, but we'll look again. But I don't know. I mean, they get you know how they get your family involved. Who knows? Could have been pushed to a point where his mom was involved. I'm not sure, but you know how these programs work, you know. And so that didn't work out, and so they had to section him again, and you know, just he's in a rehabilitation program where they pretty much you're in rehab all the time for the whole time, as far as I know. Still in rehab, doing the medication thing. His targeting got so bad to the point where he couldn't even ride a skateboard properly anymore. How do you go? You know, you saw how he was like swerving, like his back foot was going on the opposite side.
The fucking ability to be able to fucking ride a skate or something that was so natural to him, they snatched that away from him. That's what this fucking program does to people, man.
Exactly, and that's how they do it when they say you're manic depressed, bipolar, schizophrenic, is when, like, what's your symptoms? Do you not enjoy any of your usual hobbies or activities or chores that you do on a regular basis? Can you all hear that? Can you hear? Oh, you okay? When you're going for a diagnosis, when you're telling a psychiatrist or your symptoms, you know, you're saying, they ask you, what are your symptoms? Do you feel like you're depressed all the time? You can't enjoy any of your usual hobbies anymore, or you can't perform your usual hobbies anymore with ease, you know, stuff like that. Look at him. He can't even stand on a skateboard and ride it properly. He went from being able to do the most toughest, sickest tricks, I mean, for that time area where he was in, to barely riding a skateboard. Come on, you know. And I'm a skateboarder myself. I've been skating since I was 12 years old, you know. And after my targeting, I found days where I literally could not ride a skateboard properly, you know. And then, like, I'll get off the skateboard, and then maybe a month later, I could ride a skateboard and doing some, you know, hard tricks, but not like my usual hard tricks I can do, you know. I have a lot more difficulty with it. And the thing with it is they bombard you so much. I really believe he was just bombarded way beyond. He's a star, so everyone knows him. So he's bombarded like more than a more usual TI. Not to put him in that he's targeted more, but I mean, just that's the way it is. You know, he has recognition. Everyone knows him, so he's bombarded. So I think what it is he went from super focused to not even be able to focus at all. You know, And that's just my point of view on it, I think. Because I share that same instance. I'm the same kind of person just like he is, you know? Or I was able to just do tricks with ease. I could just ride my skateboard first try, 360 flip, like nothing, keep riding. Now it's like, I mean, yeah, I'm older, but you know what I mean? I get on the skateboard, I'm like, I'm wobbling, you know, and I fix my truck, still wobbling. I'm like, what's going on, man? The moment when I saw that, it hit home to me, you know? I mean, I can't even do a simple kickflip some days. I'm just like, what the heck, you know? So I definitely can vouch for Paul Alexander, what he's going through, from being able to have precise, you know, balance and just angles and everything, to being able to not like perform his normal task of riding a skateboard. You know, I could share in that and vouch for him.
I could totally agree with you all across the board with everything you pretty much said, Rauni. You know, that brother definitely had his talent that was going to become his career snatched from under him like a rug, you know what I mean? And definitely wasn't his fault at all whatsoever. You know, I just feel for him, because I get it, I understand when you're put into that scenario, because he was pretty much fucking launched into that scenario with no choices really. Like, he was sectioned, I'm assuming, by his family members that committed him, or helped at least commit him to that, you know, to the hospital.
We know how it works, you know. And
you know, unfortunately for him, he got put through that scenario that was unfolding, and he wasn't happy. He was upset, highly upset. I'm just curious to know now, how old was he because he, in that video, like afterwards, like when they showed before and after, I'm assuming that the after, he must be like in his late 20s to early 30s now, some shit like that, maybe older.
I think, I'm guessing he has to be around close to, probably a little older than me. I could just tell by the footage that's on the videos and stuff. Because when I was early 2000s, I would say, because that footage looks like 2000s type of style of skating, where it was like, it's hard, but it wasn't as hard. It doesn't look as hard as all these skateboards it was 10 years ago, you know, or now. So I'm thinking he's probably mid-30s, to be honest with you. Probably even actually older, you know. They look like a little bit older than me, for sure. Because, I mean, looking at the guy that's in the skate shop, the guy owns a skate shop. Yeah, he probably had to be in his 40s, you know, or late 30s. You know, and it's just messed up, because that guy owns a skate shop, and he wasn't anybody, you know. That was just one of the dudes that was hanging out with him. Wasn't as good as him either. I really do believe they piggybacked off of him, man. It's fucked up. Used his story and his star to fame, his recognition and his fame. Open up a skate shop. That ain't right, man.
Some tough shit, man. But
yeah,
I'm glad that it was caught on footage, video and audio, and it was encapsulated in regards to his story, and it's archived. You know what I mean? Because people like ourselves that know what time it truly is and have the information to back it up and prove it, we can use that as a reference point to contrast and compare and show and prove to people, like, yo, look, this is how they go about setting people up to be placed in a mental institution, discredited, to be later locked up in a mental asylum for however amount of time, or a prison or some shit like that, to bury the truth with us. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't, it's a form of silencing dissidents, and he definitely had traits, and most of us EI/TIs do too, have traits of dissidents. You know what I mean? Naturally, it just comes with us. It's like the movie Divergent. I couldn't compare it with something better. We happen to be the dauntless type, you know, and they fear that. they also secretly envy that. And this is what it is, man. You know, I come to the realization through the research and through my experience and the comparing of others that are genuine EI/TIs that it pretty much sums up to that. And there's a whole factor that factors into it with human experimentation. And the human experimentation angle of it evolves into the scientific realm when it comes down to testing their technology on us, perfecting it and modifying it, hence remote neural monitoring. And they create certain things to put on the market, claim it as theirs, their great invention, their great idea. And like you said earlier, you know, I couldn't have said it any better myself. These people are psychopathic in nature. They could do fucked up shit like that, smile in people's faces and sleep at night, because that's the psychopathic's nature. They have no sense whatsoever of what empathy or compassion is. They'll use, like I made this example to Raw in another conversation in the past, they'll use someone with empathy, analyze the shit out of them, have them around just to study them so they can learn how empathy looks and sounds like, so they can act it out to make people think that they are. And how Nigel put the stamp on it was when he brought up the whole thing about George K. Simon. George K. Simon is a licensed therapist, and he came out with a book, In Sheep's Clothing, which deals with narcissistic / sociopathic / covert aggressive individuals. And that sums up the perps, damn sure sums up the handlers of this program. And this is the mentality that time and again we all deal with, a childlike mentality. You know what I'm saying? That is pretty much back to back the same shit repeated over and over again. Like the saying goes, what's crazy? The definition of crazy is doing or insanity within the things over and over again, expecting a different. That's what these motherfuckers do on the constant daily basis to us. And yet we're still here, defiable as ever.
So that's it. Tried to target me on YouTube about that.
Say that again, I can hear you.
There's this person on YouTube called Human Babyface. He mentioned that after we mentioned it on a call. He's the person. So I just want to let them know, you know, I'm fine with what we do. That's just something for the perps here to hate on. And I'll expose them.
When you said there's a guy on YouTube called Healing what?
Healing Babyface, he does YouTube videos. And I got him on my YouTube channel. He mentioned that phrase. We mentioned it on a call. And if you watch his videos, he does certain hand signals and stuff. Yeah. I noticed that. I just wanted the perps to know I'm
Oh, that was another thing though too. On that video of the Vice video, there is, you can see it throughout the video if you watch clearly. You know, there's people giving hand signals, you know, doing the scratch down. They're not looking at the camera, but they'll be doing the scratch downward thing, and it's very, very obviously that they're doing it. You know.
I know it's important.
Okay, I'll check them out.
That thing, you know how these people do, where, you know, we'll mention something and then they'll mention it.
Right.
How they do it.
Well, that was something that's interesting. You mentioned that.
Man, I just wanted to welcome Nappy Boots. He's been in the building for a minute now. He just landed.
Oh, yeah.
Yo, Nappy, man, you good, man? What's the latest with you, bro?
Oh, man, it's the same old shit. Same old shit. They calmed down for a minute, then they started hard again. Got a police activity. More police activity.
I was watching, you know, the videos that you had uploaded recently, man, because I got to catch up with some of that stuff because I missed when you had done it before. And then I was like, oh, shit, man. You motherfuckers brought out a SWAT team pretty much, man. I mean, I'm exaggerating. It wasn't a SWAT team, but you know, the firemen, the ambulance, the police, the helicopter. I mean, it's like ridiculous. And you was in a gas station, right?
Yep.
That's crazy, yo. And all you were doing was just pumping your gas. These motherfuckers just came out of West Bumblefuck, right?
Yes, man. Out of nowhere. And you know, I've been seeing them all day, like they was doing like little pullovers, like fake pullovers on people. And you know, once or twice it seems, you know, it's a normal thing. Like it might be a normal thing, but when you see that shit all day, it's like police got 5 or 6 people pulled over at different times and shit. Then you go somewhere, hit the corner, and then you know, it's like 3 or 4 of them with their lights on and shit. Like they're surrounding something. So I knew immediately, like when they formed in the gas station like that, they would be all fucking bullshit. I think what it is too is they might think I'm actually out here like selling something and shit. Or they might think, because they've been having a lot of people come to me ask me for drugs or, you know, hey, can I get in your van and I'll let you hit this? You feel me? Can I smoke this in here and then you can hit it? I was like, hell nah, man, get the hell out of here. And they be, not weed, they be having like the hard shit. You know, I'll be like, get the hell out of here and shit. You feel me? And like, I think they swear like I'm selling drugs or some shit. And you know, all that, those fake ass police stops and shit is like to make me like get paranoid or, you know, because what that, you know, if I was hustling, if I was selling shit, you know, like when they swarmed in the fucking gas station like that, my heart would have dropped, bro. I don't care if I had it hidden in the best place that fucking you could hide it, man. Like my heart would have fucking dropped, man. And that is it. I think that's what they counted on.
Yeah, they probably want you to think that, and they, you know, that's like the narrative they're trying to run on you.
Yeah.
Try and, you know, set you up, or it's the rumor they're trying to spread. It's like with Nigel when they tried to gaslight him into thinking he robbed a store. You have to ask about that. But I remember in one of his videos where they basically had a picture of someone that robbed a store that looked like him. So they're using the technology, man. They're probably trying to make you think that, man. Like to gaslight you into thinking that you sell drugs, or even like make you admit you know, sold drugs even though you didn't, you know what I mean? Because that's a tactic of this program as well, like to try and gaslight you into thinking you committed a crime. You know, it's the narrative, man. Like earlier this year, like they had this woman just come up to me and said, "You're a rapist. You raped someone."
Oh, bro, they do that to me all the time. They tell me I rape people. They tell me I fucking chopped them up and put them in my man. I've been not like, but they do it on some crazy shit though. Like, you know, you raped my fucking cousin and chopped her up, or and it always has something to do with stabbing and shit. Like you fucking cut. It always has something to do with some type of cutting, like I raped and cut somebody or some shit.
I remember that video, man, with that Spanish dude. I think he was Mexican. He looked Mexican to me at that time. And you was chilling in your van. It was daytime. Homeboy looked like he was getting ready to take his shirt off, and he was like asking you, "Where's the little girls at?" or some bullshit. And I'm like, what the fuck? Because the shit just abruptly stopped. Like the recording didn't last long. It was probably like 8-10 seconds of that shit. And I was like, what the fuck? This nigga's just going after fucking Nappy with that pedophile bullshit, man. Yo, you know what I'm saying? I started thinking all types of shit. I was like,
but also, when they tried to basically assassinate you, isn't that what the woman that stabbed you said as well?
Yeah, she said that too. And then it was I don't know if it was the bald-headed Mexican girl. She was telling me like I stabbed her brother up, and then she took off running somewhere. First she was like, can I ride with you? And I was like, nah. And then she was like, that's fucked up. You were supposed to be my cousin's phone boy. And somebody was, you know, I believe like somebody said that she was like, she went through shock therapy or something. But she was just like a boy. When I was just laughing. I'm not sure if you guys remember that video.
I remember you as well saying that motherfucker got out of the one headlight car as well.
Yeah, that's the one that stabbed me.
Yeah, because you usually say that in regards to when people come and follow you with the one headlight, you're like, that's the same motherfucking tactic that they were using before they sent that lady to come and stab me. So I remember that shit too. You know what I mean? And that's like a trigger, like a visual trigger that they want you to see in your rearview mirror every time and shit to get you fucking angry or anxious, anxiety ridden and shit like that. That's why they do that. So you call them out each and every time to let them know, you know what I'm saying, when they do that and you film them. And that's what's up, because that's what we got to start continuing to do is shit like that, not stopping. You know what I mean? People putting these motherfuckers on blast. You know what I'm saying? Because they need to be exposed, and they hate that shit on top of that. So why not fucking do what they hate the most and have people see for themselves that we're not bugging the fuck out, that this is a pattern here. This ain't a delusion. You know what I'm saying?
So there's so many TIs that get that one headlight and one brake light tactic. You know, gang stalking Australia gets it, I get it, Nappy gets it, and several others as well that I can't remember that also get that one headlight tactic. So that shit is actually textbook style.
I may not get it as frequent as they get it, but I've gotten it here and there. You know what I'm saying? I got one video where this one security guard from the university nearby my home where I live at and shit, he was rocking the one headlight, and I went straight after him because that's the first time that I even had a one headlight, and I even said it in the video. I was like, yo, I gotta get him. You know what I'm saying? And I put his fucking face on blast on YouTube, you know what I mean? And he was acting all nonchalant, like he wasn't doing nothing. I was like, yo, you know that's illegal, right? He goes, yes, sir. You know what I mean? Like on some, like he didn't know what was going on type shit, but he knew exactly what he was doing all along. That's how these motherfuckers try to play it off and shit.
No, not only that, you never see the police pull these motherfuckers over.
Exactly.
You never pull them over.
I mean, the police do it themselves, man. They do that one headlight shit too.
The UK, I've seen that shit, and when I went to Spain, they were doing that shit. They were having cool cars. Well, they just let them do it. Even though it's technically illegal. So who's the real criminals? When that shit is technically illegal.
Right. Yo, Nappy, what's up with that chick, man? You had gone up to the car, too. I think she had a one headlight, and then she tried to put her hand up to block her face. Did you have recorded her or something?
Yeah. When I woke up, and I got out there, you know, I to take the dog to the bathroom and shit. And she was parked right there, just fucking typing on her fucking phone. She
looked mad, B. She was like, the fuck, man? You know, we trying to act like she why and all this.
I wish I would have kept recording, man, because she got out the car and was like, is there a reason why you're recording me? And I explained to her, what was going on. I'm being followed by a bunch of you guys, and I happen to wake up, and you happen to have your fucking one headlight on. And she's like, mind your fucking business, shut the fuck up, fuck you, motherfucker. I was just like, have a nice day, man. She was like, fuck you, mother. She kept cursing me out.
You're a gentleman, bro. Like always, man. I hate you. Ridiculous, man. You know. I saw that shit, I was like, yo, they hit them hard, man. They hit them hard back to back. That's usually how they do it, man. It's a fucking pattern, you know, that they set up, you know, to have us get hit in multiple, you know, scenarios, one after the other, you know what I'm saying, to cause a traumatic moment within that situation so we can get re-traumatized and keep us in that state. You know what I'm saying? If you keep a person in a stressed out state of mind, you will eventually develop anxiety and other illnesses that are medically induced through this program.
There's how the ankylose feelings with the dark NLP.
Exactly.
then it triggers with lots of different.
And then not to mention the mind control technology and the microwave frequencies that they use alongside the shit to make that shit that much more intense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and on top of that, we're being tortured by electronic weapons. Top of the silence. And having our computers hacked, and phones hacked, and spied on every day, 24/7. It's not something that the faint-hearted can survive. Don't do it, you know. Not just saying that strength alone will get you through this shit, because it won't. You have to be wise to what they're doing, as well as strong. No doubt this program, you could be a Navy SEAL, an SAS member, but if you don't know what's going on with this program, it's still, you know, break down your mind psychologically.
Not for nothing, Nap. What has been the deal with the van and shit? Like, are they still fucking with it? Are you doing better with that shit now? Like, you know.
I'm just good. They haven't done anything lately. I've been getting certain shit fixed at a time and shit. So far it's been good. Knock on wood.
That's what's up. Because I noticed every time you would go into a store or some shit like that, these motherfuckers would time it and have motherfuckers in the store watching when you leave, reporting to them, yo, he's about to go out. Then you'll see motherfuckers literally run away from your van. Like, they'll wait for you to see them because they want you to see them running away from your van, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Very good. I'm parking that motherfucker in front of cameras now. I'm going to places with cameras now.
That's what's up, man. I guess the best way to handle that shit is to have that right in front of the camera so you know more or less, you know, where you left it and you have some sort of proof later on if some shit jumps off.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
How the doggies doing, man?
Oh, they good. They good. Other than, you know, I get that every day coming by the van with their dogs or stopping by the van with their dog shit, but I'm starting to break them from all the crazy shit. Like, if I'm not monitoring them and like if I'm not there to say nah, like they go crazy, but you know, before I couldn't calm them down for shit, like slowly but surely they started calmer.
Okay. That's good news. Give me a second.
Fucking get tired of the motherfuckers always doing that. And I can't really say nothing to them because it is, you know, public property, not against the law or, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice,
Right.
man. You back in the building, man. I got you back. Must have booted you off.
Usual bullshit I'm putting off
Yeah, I already figured that. I was hearing the call waiting, so I was like, oh shit, I got another call. Then I realized it was you that got booted off. I just passed you back in. Just gotta, you know, be on point with these. Because they are like fucking sharks sometimes, man, waiting to strike. And your most vulnerable moment, when you're not looking or some shit like that, is when they like to strike and do their shit. So we, as DI/TIs, we end up almost having to create eyes behind the back of our heads and shit in order to, you know, fucking bypass that shit, man. Like, we got like a sixth sense about shit, you know, and how these motherfuckers operate. So we learn to circumvent shit by doing certain things a certain way. If that makes any sense. I'm sure it makes sense to y'all, man. Know how to adapt in your own way behind that shit. Yeah. Yo, Ro, you still on the call, man?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay.
Yeah, chilling in the background. Listening up to everyone's stories.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Not a problem, Nappy. We know it was legitimate, man. Okay. I just wanted to tell y'all, man, that we've come down to the 51st. Last weekend was the 50th podcast that we did.
Wow.
So far, we're like, you know, halfway through reaching the 100 mark. You know what I'm saying? And I want to do something special for that particular podcast. Not sure what yet, but I'm dropping it to y'all early now so y'all can think about some ideas that y'all can come up with creatively that we can do to celebrate that 100th podcast, man. And even the topics that we're going to discuss on that day and shit like that. You know what I mean?
Sure, I'm about it. Yeah, there's something going on with the call. They're doing something with the call. I can hear it on my end.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It sounds like a car horn, like a slight car horn sound. Yeah. And then like a person's voice gets muted temporarily.
Yeah. It's like an automated, button when you're waiting online, and it's like, doop, then you can hear the music, and then it kind of cuts, and then you can hear the music again. Yeah. And I'm getting heavily swarmed right now, too. That's usually the time it happens, and you know what's crazy? At least one of us in our circle right now as we speak, someone else is getting swarmed at the same time. Or zeroed in on. Yeah, zeroed in on where it's really noticeable.
Oh, yeah. I got hella bikes that you the Rauni right now.
That's what I had earlier, too. Someone went by when I think it was RT was talking, and she went by and she's like, ha, 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 ha. And then, there's this Range Rover or Land Rover that was in the parking lot behind me, kept on, not even parking in the space, just taking up 3 or 4 spaces, and then move all the way up and then park behind me, faced at me with its lights on. And I've seen the passenger before. He always gets on the train sometimes, right around over at SDSU, I want to say, or, what's the other one? I think it's not La Mesa, not Rosemont, or Arnell Station, I think. That's the one. And she was laughing, and it was all planned like that, you know what I mean? So.
Yeah, the jokes on those perks, they're the ones that should be done.
Oh, yeah, because once they're done with, once we're out of the way, or majority of us, or if we ever created a society of us where we live underground, we'll have to probably be like most people where we don't have any chips and we can't be observed anymore, I'm just saying, or if we're just out of the way, period, they're next. They're the next slaves. They're the next tier, that gets dealt with.
We are slaves.
Yeah.
They're made to do something. They are slaves. They're being mind controlled and manipulated.
Yeah. Yeah, I really do believe majority of the society now, in certain demographics of where we live, are under mass mind control, That's a really intense thought to think about sometimes, when I'm at work. And, or just a few hours. What's up, Nick?
So the TV has the subliminal messages and all that. That's
right. And people who follow trends, I got the new shoes, doesn't matter, skate shoes, Jordans, whatever, or the next, code word, like next, slang word or whatever, you know what I mean? Or, oh, did you hear that new Jay-Z song? Or, people just get hooked on that stuff, and it's becoming more easier to be acceptable to do the gang stalking, the hand signals, like you're part of a gang, when in actuality, your government handed you that. Joke's on them,
Yo, at this point, I want to ask, if y'all don't mind, man. I'd like to ask first and foremost, man, Nappy, if you don't mind, dropping a quick breakdown of your history in regards to, you being a homeless TI and whatnot. How did it start and whatnot, and what helped you to keep pushing forward? And after that, if y'all don't mind, Lord Truth, you'll say the same thing, because the theme here is about behind that. How us EI/TIs, when we end up homeless, the circumstances after the fact, and how you adapt and how you keep pushing forward and shit like that. You know what I mean? There is someone that I would like for them to hear this, because they happen to be a homeless TI too, and they're going through it where they are right now as we speak in real time. So I want them to hear and understand that as a homeless EI/TI, yeah, it's going to be a lot rougher than the average TI like us to have shelter or have jobs and have the ability, to move around and have temporary breaks here and there. They catch it, you know what I'm saying, much worse than us. And I acknowledge that shit. I know how. I can't relate to it, but I can only imagine. And I know through the experiences that Nappy had Roots goes through his videos, that got me, looking into this. I realized what was going on with me through his videos, as well as Raw True Sevens. So, Nappy, whenever you're ready, man, take it away. And then after that, if you don't mind, Raw, drop your outlook on it.
Well, family just started over targeting me, so I left. And I went to do my own thing, you feel me? And in the beginning, I had plans to stack. Excuse me, hold on, that's about to be legitimate. Excuse me. I had plans to stack my money, go to Reno, and rent out, because, back in the day, I remember, like, when I was hustling and shit, we used to go to Reno, and they had, like, those houses for, like, $200 a piece. So, like, around, like, $200, but you'd be in the house with, like, a bunch of people with the, the type of shit, the bathrooms in the hallway, and, you basically renting a room out of the house. So I was gonna do that. I know it's a little bit more than that. Then that was like 10, 15 years ago. So I knew it was a little bit more, but those were my plans. And eventually the fucking targeting got fucking, like, beyond what I would have ever fucking imagined and shit. Like, so, that was out of the question and shit. So, got the van. I had to go do a DUI class in order to get my license back. For, I got a DUI that was a bullshit DUI that might have had to do with this targeting and shit, because, you feel me, I was never under the influence, like maybe of marijuana or something, but not even at the time. So, it was a bullshit charge. Like, dude wouldn't take my blood. He wouldn't, and I kept requesting it. Like, I was like, can you take my blood? Can you take my, my hair sample? Like, dude denied me. I asked the fucking, the nurse to do it and shit, to take my blood sample, because they, the police takes you to the nurse for the nurse to give you a TB shot and all that bullshit. So I was asking her to, take my blood or take a hair sample so I could have something to fight with in court. And she was, the lady was like, ask the officer. And she heard me asking the officer, and the officer told me about something. Long story short, they took my license away. And, I was thinking about getting my license. I was trying to get a spot. And that was out of the question. I got a license, got my license back. That's sad. And, it was going good for a minute. It was going good for a minute until they found different strategies and shit to fuck with me. They found they maneuvered their fucking bullshit, switched it up. And, the thing to help me get through this is fucking, oh man, what helps me get through it, man, is knowing that people going through a lot worse than what I'm going through, and they're fucking handling that shit like that. Just being in certain situations that I've been in my past, and being able to fucking, build a fucking different, how would you say, a split personality would be building a split personality, building a split personality, but yet still being in charge of it, so not letting it take over me and shit.
That was very well said, bro. Let me ask you this, Nat. In your opinion, do you feel that when you smoke weed, it helps you a lot better as opposed to you not smoking at all? The reason why I ask you that is because the brother I'm telling you about, he happens to recommend that. He happens to say you should smoke as much as you can because it helps you see through that bullshit. And I responded to him with the fact that I heard that somewhere, that Bob Marley did an interview back in the day. He said more or less the same thing. So I was wondering if you could clarify that from your perspective. Not saying that you advocated or anything like that, but for you, in your perception, through your experience, has it been more helpful or has it made you more, that it affected you more?
Bro, I just got the honest truth, bro. I smoke weed every day. Before, I smoked weed, but it wasn't as much, bro. I probably smoked a couple blunts a day or some shit like that. You feel me? And fucking this shit was fucking get, it would get on my nerves. You feel me? To the point to where I would get at him, bro, and I would fucking. And maybe it's because it was earlier in the targeting, but, I would get at him and fucking confront him and fucking in the wrong way. There's the right way to confront him and there's the wrong way to confront him. And I was confronting them in the wrong way and they were just fucking necking my chain, bro. You feel me? And I just was I was fucking just, bro, I had to fucking smoke weed, bro. I'm telling you, bro, it's fucking, it's mellowed me out to the point to where I stop, I think, I've been able to fucking, create my own little world around me and shit and be able to analyze these motherfuckers, you feel me? I give them names and shit. You feel me? And I predict, I try and predict what they're gonna do. If I start up the gun right now, what are they gonna do? You feel me? Okay. And usually that shit be right on point, bro. I bullshit you not. I'll fucking analyze this shit and I'll be I'm about to leave right now. I bet you. And then I bullshit you not. Whatever I predict usually comes true, bro. And it's not not that I'm predicting it. It's just that I've been fucking paying attention to these motherfuckers for so long. And, you know, just like, for me, weed slows everything down, and I'm able to analyze it. And I'm able to fucking deal with it on a, that's what I mean, like on with personality thing. Like, I'm able to fucking laugh at it. Knowing that, like, I know it's serious, and I know it's nothing to fucking be laughing about, but at the same time, you have to build, like, for me, I had to build a certain fucking character that I can sit back and fucking laugh at these motherfuckers, and at the same time point it out and fucking, you know, show people what they're doing. And for me, it's helped a lot, bro. Definitely helped a lot.
That's what's up, man. Hey, the way I see it, man, if it works for you and it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's how I see that, you know what I mean? Because I understand, man. Everyone has a way of coping mechanisms, you know, ways of going about handling the situation. No one is exempt from feeling the stress or the anxiety that can build up in time when you just try to deal with it in a fashion where, well, I'm just going to, you know, try to see how long I can go. No, man, you know, fucking, if you don't understand the words, they don't stop. The words, they don't stop, is exactly what that is saying. You know what I mean? So you have to figure out your best bet on how you're going to cope with it. It might be whatever it could be. It could be that. It could be other things. It could be a combination of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Whatever works for you, do it. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of what anybody says or thinks or feels about it. Because at the end of the day, this is...
Oh, wait, go ahead, something, my bad. Go ahead. You there?
Yeah, I'm there.
Oh.
I can hear you about it.
You there?
Can y'all hear me? Hold on a second. Hold on a second.
Time with the week, kind of over time on it. A lot. So I'm fine.
Yo, can y'all
hear me? Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, it's definitely fucking with the call. What I was saying was basically whatever works for you, do it. If it ain't broke, obviously don't fix it. At the end of the day, it's about however you're able to maintain the sanity that you still have by any means necessary to protect that. Go all out. You know what I mean? I've had to literally cut off family members, people who I thought were my friends. And when I say cut off, I don't mean temporarily. I mean for life. Done.
Yeah, that's...
Because I had to do that for my own sanity. You know what I'm saying? So, anyone who tries to judge us in regards to, man, that's fucked up, man, that's a horrible way to live, that's a closed-minded type of way that the program is working on you because they're making you isolated. Well, I'll tell you what, man, maybe so, but I guarantee you I will not be fucked with the same exact way as they started doing to me from the beginning. I guarantee that. I'm going to change that course of action to force them to have to do it other ways. And I think everyone on this squad has figured out their own ways of going about that. So anybody that tries to make them feel that, oh, you know, the program is working on you because you're doing this, you have no idea what we go through an experience that's felt in regards to an everyday thing. And imagine being homeless on top of that. I don't know how that feels like. You know what I'm saying? But I could only imagine. You know what I'm saying? And yet these brothers are still maintaining. You know what I mean? That right there should speak for itself, regardless of what background they come from. You know what I'm saying? The human beings first. We all are. Everybody should always look at that. You know what I mean? And there's people that might come off in a way where they may seem like they're racist, or they may seem like they're cussing at people and all that and sounding all ignorant and shit. But then you got to look at the fact that they're being stressed out. They're losing their jobs. They're fucking losing their families. They're using what they thought were friends. People all coming against them. They see someone that's participating in that shit. And at the moment, it might seem like they're being racist, because that's exactly what it sounds like. But then, if you look at it from the standpoint of them wanting to get them angry, what's the quickest way to get one pissed off? Is to use their race or some shit like that to try to belittle them. So I think that's what that was about when I witnessed that with a particular homeless T.I. from the States here. I didn't like it, what he did, because I don't believe that was right. What he did, what he said, so, whatever the case may be. I'm not going to repeat it, because I don't feel it's something that I want to say. But it was a derogatory term, you know what I'm saying, that shouldn't have came out of his mouth. But at the same time, I'm empathizing with him, because I'm looking at the possibility that he did that out of sheer stress and sheer anger and frustration, and he wanted to piss the guy off. And I guess he wanted him to try to attack him so he could record it and probably hit him. I don't know, but I'm assuming this is my own visual perception of why that went down.
No, check this out. It's like they deliberately how he said that they.
So now they're doing it to you. They're doing it to your voice. Like they're making your voice go in and out, bro.
Tell you why? It's because that's thing they do is they'll target specific to try to get for that group. Look at now, French. The specifically policing people for a few years. So they try to so there you go, see? They don't come onto something. Yeah, but they'll try to put that hatred of a certain group or race,
they're doing that shit hard to your voice now, man, these motherfuckers.
Yeah, because they don't talk. Can you hear me?
Barely. You coming in and out. Blanking.
Yeah, I was saying...
You're messing with the call.
Yeah, they deliberately target you with races. They deliberately target you with ethnic groups to try and make you hate that group. You know what I mean? So that they could have done that to that T.I. and basically mind controlled him to hate that particular ethnic group. You know what I mean?
You're absolutely right about that, Nate. You're absolutely right. That's true. Very, very possible, too.
Yeah. They do that. I got targeted by Middle Eastern people a lot, and I was starting to feel dislike of that group. I started feeling uncomfortable when I saw them, and I started to feel angry when I saw them, and I was like getting ready for a fight when I saw them. The reason for that was because they kept targeting me with that particular group. You know what I mean? And then I realized what they were doing. But that's something they do, because I was starting to get a real dislike for Middle Eastern people. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, fuck these people. And every time they come past me, they're doing shit. I don't like them. They seem to be scumbags. You know what I mean? That's the kind of thoughts I was getting in my mind.
That's how it is.
That T.I. was probably being targeted by, was it African American people? They're probably being targeted by that ethnicity, and he didn't realize what was going on, and they mind controlled him basically to have a hatred of that group.
Yep, or they can keep on. They can use a silent sound spread spectrum on you, and keep repeating a certain slandered word, or derogatory term, and you're thinking, wait a second, I don't say those things. You know what I'm saying? Why would that be in your mind? That's like what RT was talking about, or like, if you can catch it, or it's certain things that you wouldn't even think about or do, or if you just catch it in general, because like, wait a second, why does this keep reoccurring? You know what I mean? They can also be doing that too, you know, and then make you latch out onto it, because they can't make you say it. They can just implement, you know?
Yeah, I think also...
Most definitely. Good call on that, Raw. I agree with what you said, too.
So once I hit you on the anchor point, then you'll say, you know, some derogatory term of a certain race or class of people, you know, and then that's the way it goes. Rich, poor, black, white, Asian, no matter. They'll say something, they'll put it in your mind, and then all of a sudden you're just like, why is that in there? But if you're not even thinking about it and you're just mad at the time, you say it, because you're the only beholder of your own mind. You can control what comes out. It's what goes in. It's what comes out that defiles a man. It's not what goes in. That's just me, though. You know.
You nailed it right there. Nice.
Thank you, sir. Kind of make you say things throughout. I've had times where I've been saying things, and then it'll come out but wasn't thinking, and I have to backtrack on what I said. So I have to disagree. This technology can actually make you things you don't realize.
Mention with your voice again, Jay.
No, I was saying I have to disagree with that, but I was saying with this technology, they can actually make you say certain things without realizing, because I've had it happen to me where I've been saying something and the word I thought didn't come out, a different word came out of my mouth. I was like, what the fuck? I have to backtrack. Certain words come out. Just tonight, actually, you know, I was saying something and it put the phrase in my head, I think, because that's, you know, just after we were talking about that, and I think they did that to make me target me, or to make you feel like I was targeting you. If they do this shit with the tech, they can do that.
Well, you're right about that also. There's called forced speech, too, that they can do. They can implant thoughts in your mind through the silent sound spread spectrum. That's why, you know, I reiterate what I had said before, too, about people needing to educate themselves on this technology. You're right, man. You think when you're right, you're right. I agree with that, you know what I'm saying? But I believe that what Raw was saying was more inclined towards, if at the end of the day, you already know about this technology, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Experience level alongside it, and you're able to kind of pick up on when the technology is being used on you, when you realize that these aren't your thoughts, when you look at what you were thinking after the fact, you reflect, and you start like, okay, I know I don't think like this, or I won't say shit like that, so I'm pretty sure that that wasn't me. Now, that's not easy to do, though. That's easier said than done. I realize that, man. But through time, like Nigel told me, when I had that question, and I had asked him, how the fuck does Neil, his twin brother who's a TI too, how the fuck does Neil know when it's them that are sending a transmission? Now, the transmission that he was referring to was an implanted thought in his mind telling him to go left. And he out loud said, no, I don't want to go left. I'm going to go right. You know what I'm saying? Because he's that true rebel as Neil is, you know what I mean? So it's like, he said that because he knew it wasn't him. He wanted to go to the right, not left. So he felt it coming. So I asked Nigel, I was like, yo, how the fuck your brother knew that it was the technology at that point? His response to me was, don't worry, RT, you'll get there. And I sure did. I eventually got there. But that doesn't make me exempt, though. That doesn't give me any special powers to like be able to withstand that shit completely, especially with the 5G rollout. That shit is going to be that much more stronger. You know what I mean? It's already powerful. So with the 5G rollout, that shit is going to be even more intense. But being that we have the knowledge of its existence, we are aware of this technology, and we know more or less how it works to the most basic, form, then we are that much more equipped to be able to tell when they're using it or when they have used it, or to find a way to figure out or circumvent that shit from affecting you 100% by any means that you possibly can. And that goes for stuff like shielding, stuff like learning certain exercises to do to keep the mind control from affecting you 100%. And there's this woman who's Finnish. She was, like she passed away. She was from Finland. So she's Finnish, you know what I mean? And she was breaking down certain key exercises for people to do who believe that they're, being used as mind control guinea pigs or something like that. I forgot what she said exactly, but she said something in the reference of when people feel that this technology is being used on them, some of the exercises to do is to kind of use your left and your right cross-referencing, like put your arms in front of you, you know what I'm saying? Like in an X form, your left over your right. And the same way that you have that X over your face, you grab with the right hand on your left eyebrow and you start touching it. Left hand with the left eyebrow, you start squeezing for 10 seconds. Then you do it to your ears on the opposite sides like that for like 10 seconds. And then you wipe I guess you could call where the chin and where the cleft of the upper lip is underneath the nose. You kind of swipe your left index finger over to, the left side, and the right index finger on the bottom of your chin where the cleft would be to the right side. And you do that simultaneously at the same time. And you keep repeating that pattern for like a minute. From what she's discovered and other people have been able to confirm, it throws off the mind control technology for a small amount of time. A gap long enough or big enough for you to realize what you're doing and what you're thinking. Let me give you an example of what I mean by that. When Raw True 7 was filming the chick out there in California, dressed all in white, and he was able to capture that footage, he was armed with the knowledge of knowing in advance that if he were to put his phone in airplane mode, he would be able to capture at least a minute or so of video and audio footage of that chick. And that's exactly what he did. And he caught the footage. What I'm using that as a lack of a better example is a comparison to what this Finnish medical doctor who passed away, who was also a TI, by the way, had mentioned about those exercises to do to throw off the mind control technology. It could probably give you more or less from 45 to 60 seconds of clarity, because it'll readjust your brain. It'll readjust and focus that word right there, your focus, for at least a minute, where you can think clearly for a minute, if that makes any sense, yo. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to find the clip and I'm going to add it to the description box so people can check it out, so they know what I'm talking about.
This is because you're focusing on that, you're focusing on the thing. It takes your mind off anything that you're doing.
That makes sense. I think that's the most logical way to look at that from a logical standpoint. Yeah.
Like distracting your mind. Your mind, whatever you would be thinking.
Right. And it does something, because what it is, the whole crisscross thing does something too with your left side of your brain and your right side of the brain. You understand? So it kind of tricks your mind into focusing. Regardless, like it's just something to the inner components of your mind, the way your mind works and the way your eyes see, right? When you do that, it's kind of like try to touch your top of your head and then rub your stomach at the same time. It's kind of difficult for some people, right? So that is the throw off right there. What you're doing is you're kind of like rechanneling or rewiring the way your focus is, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. What
you're trying to do is you're trying to bring it back to a reset. You're trying to reset your mind.
Like computer. You know, to reset the bio. It's like a human understand almost. It's one.
Well, yeah, if you look at the human brain, it is like a computer. It's programmable. You know what I'm saying? There's that, and there's other stuff she was breaking down too, but I'm just focusing on that right now because I feel that is something that I wanted to share with y'all and to add on the public record for others to look into as a way of trying to throw this mind control technology off at least for a minute or so, where you can get your focus back in and get your bearings back for a few.
Yeah, I'm trying to. No, I didn't notice. Felt silence doing the promotion.
Like, fucking with your voice again, man.
What's like with?
Yo. Yeah, fucking with your voice crazy, bro.
Yeah, I just it was feeling like clear head, like almost like when you.
I know it's going in and out, man. You already know, man. These motherfuckers ain't happy. You know what I'm saying? They know the shit that we share on this call is stuff that is going to go against their shit. It's gonna countermeasure their shit. So
yeah,
it makes sense that they do stuff.
That's probably why they're trying to silence it.
Right. You heard the sirens earlier, right? When you were talking.
Yeah, that was breaking down tactics they use to make a certain vehicles. They did. There was a sirens when I did that. Because I think that's the big tactic they use. Yeah, I've seen it into a few here. It's happened to me myself as well, so definitely something they do. It's like Nigel, he was getting targeted by panic people, you know. They definitely do that.
Yeah, no doubt. Yo, Nappy, you still on there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Raw, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. No, you need me to talk right now, or
people, they're acting like they're doing something over here when they're messing with a phone line, but I don't know if it's coming out now, like if y'all can hear anything, but over here on my end, I'm hearing crackling noises and shit like that. Then when At.Dr. was speaking, this was going in and out. Earlier, when you were talking, Raw, and you were breaking down the Paul Alexander story and shit like that, I guess you came out and you may have asked for me, you didn't hear me respond, but you did the right thing by going right into it anyway, because that's how we got to do on this call. The show must go on type shit. But if y'all ever experience where y'all called my name out and I don't respond, know this. Know that something is going on in the background that I'm either taking care of or some shit just came up and I need to handle it then and there, which is what happened earlier. You know what I'm saying? Y'all gonna hear it upon play. Like, these motherfuckers were setting off the smoke detector alarms in the hallway in the building. I don't know how, because there was nobody there. I was looking for somebody, but there was nobody there. So they were doing it remotely somehow, triggering them shits to go off. So to try to ruin the call. That make any sense, you know what I'm saying? So, yo, man, yeah, these motherfuckers, bro, is something else. Something else.
Wow, they actually set the fire alarm.
Yeah.
I suppose it's not as bad as them turning the whole power off like they did.
Right.
Shit was crazy as fuck, man.
Yeah, you caught that shit on audio, right? You caught all that shit on audio.
On my channel. On my channel.
That's what I'm saying.
Then when they were whistling outside and hammering and shit.
Nappy, you said something?
Oh, no, I accidentally called.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that was what you did that night, man. That was awesome because you got to do the screen recording off your computer and off the phone loudspeaker. You got pretty much everything that was happening in the background here in my apartment when that shit jumped off.
Yeah, because they basically thought that because your power was off that you weren't able to record. I was able to record. I was like, shit, man, I wonder if they caught my power off too. With more focus, going all out. But luckily they did.
That goes to show how, thirsty these motherfuckers were to try to shut that call down, man. I mean, the shit that came up that particular day was the article on the UK. I think something that, what was it, like?
It was about MI5. Yeah, it was. It was about MI5.
And you said something that made a lot of sense because it didn't make sense to me either. Why the fuck would people over here in New York be so caught up with that? Why wouldn't people in the UK instead? But they did it over here. I don't know what the fuck that was about. Like, that was a good question that you came up with that. And I still don't know why that happened the way it did. Playing a song.
Oh, there they go again. That's over here on me. That's my area. I was just gonna say. Remember we were talking about Aleister Crowley and then the Beatles, and then boom, all the cars were drifting around the corners. There's like police security guards that came out of nowhere. All car alarms are going off. I was scared for a second. It gave me like a few seconds of some terror stuff. Like, how like when they talk about what's that?
That shit was wild, when you were...
Oh, yeah. Like, I was so scared to the point, how, like, when you always hear about those terror things that happen on TV and you see it happen, like a bomb goes off or some shit like that. That's kind of how I felt like there was, like, something about to get set up. It gave me that kind of scare. Like, there was about to be a false flag or something happening. Because it was too, like, like orchestrated, like neighbors coming out, people coming out of the businesses, the bail bonds been coming out, everyone coming out to 7-Eleven, hovering around 7-Eleven, and everyone's acting like it's normal, but like they're going through their normal day, but the synchronizing of how they walk and walk by me, they're going this way, that goes that way, and people with the dogs and the strollers and the bikes, it was nuts, like something about to pop off, and then it got quiet. Like out of nowhere, you know what I mean? And this wasn't even 5 o'clock yet, rush hour or lunch, This was now on your side. And from my side, see? I told you. Damn, see, RT, I didn't remember I was just talking about how, like, when something happens over here or over there, it's going to happen on someone else's call. That's on the call right now, you know what I mean? When something happens here, yeah.
They got the dick up MI5's Rex and they get mad about it when we talk about MI5.
Yeah, or DHS or something.
What is it the fucking, Yank intelligence agency get mad about us talking about MI5? Fuckers in bed with each other. Well, they are in bed, probably literally with each other, and they gang back with each other. Yeah, man. If anyone want to check this shit out, it's common. Basically, by MI5 using informants to commit murder and crime and stuff.
Hey, there was a wild movie I watched the other day. I don't know if you guys ever heard of it, but it's called The Irishman with Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci, Al Pacino, and a few other people in it. Anna Paquin's in it too. And it's pretty much like how the mob was working with the government and union and work agents, like work unions. You know what I'm saying? It was nuts, man. Like how they all orchestrate hits you know, and it's crazy because they were killing their own friends and their own kinds, people they knew for years, just so, you know, flow of, you know, traffic of work and plug lines and money, you know, they got in the way. And when they weren't really in the way, they were just doing their normal day to day. And it was crazy because it's like, it was talking about why they killed Kennedy, you know. It's because he was getting in the way of, you know, the Teamster unions and all that. And they were the ones, you know, the mob and all that, they were the ones that were electing them so they can, you know, have their underground gambling rings and all that kind of stuff. But that never happened, you know. They never brought that to you know, what was the city? I think Philly. I think it was Philadelphia or around that in the East Coast. But yeah, man, they were taking people out of office. I mean, this is people in the government, and they were using, you know, professional mob hitmen to take out people in the government so they can get their ways, and just normal people too, taking out business owners so the other competition can flourish because they were in the way.
Do you have Netflix?
What'd you say?
Do you have Netflix or any type of movie app?
Yeah, I got all those.
Hey, watch The Godfather of Harlem. That talks about all that what you're talking about right now.
Yeah. That shit's real, man. Godfather what?
Godfather. No. It's a TV show.
Yeah.
It was Bumpy in it. Bumpy, you know Bumpy.
Bumpy Johnson?
Yeah, Bumpy Johnson.
Yeah.
It's called the Godfather of Harlem.
Wow.
And it shows you know, it got Malcolm X in there. It shows how the mob was working and with the government, and you know, they ordered a hit on Kennedy. Like it's a dope TV show. Like, you'll get into it.
Right. That's crazy. That I'm gonna watch that. Yeah, thank you. Put that in the link too.
Talking of films and shit, I forgot to mention this. You need to watch the Joker film because there's elements of this program.
Oh yeah, I've seen it.
You know, it's like it's woman.
They're cutting you out. I can barely hear you.
Yeah, I've seen the Joker. They basically give the dude a gun, like he starts off.
Yeah.
Then he's like goes through all this trauma. And
okay.
Then you can mute it so that way the voice doesn't pick up on. Go ahead, thanks, Ron.
then someone in his work gives him a gun, right? For saying it's for his self-defense, and that spoke volumes with me, going by what Nigel, you know, said on the call last week, where he said someone, you know, offered him a gun, and then later on in this film, Joker, the new Joker film, basically these guys beat him down, and he pulls the revolver out and shoots them all, and then he just kind of goes on, you know, gets more psychopathic as time goes on. But there's this woman who was like living next to him, and if you watch the movie, she does like this, she looks at him and then she does like this gun finger hand signal at him, and I was thinking, oh man, this is exactly what they do in this program. You know, they give him a gun, and then the woman does the gun finger at him, like saying, use the gun, you know what I mean? You need to watch that movie. That shit is exposing some shit. And I'm pretty certain there's more stuff I've missed in that film to do with the targeting. Well, I can't remember, but I felt like they were trying, it was like exposing how they basically made him into that person. You know what I mean? Like, there's alter egos and that shit. Like, he has a split personality and all that kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, they created this personality stored it in him by the trauma he went through in that movie.
Here they go again.
Siren calls again.
Yeah, and they put a security guard that walks right by me in line of sight. That's showing something in red.
Call them the siren.
Yep.
Yeah, they're not.
Yeah,
that's definitely another movie that you joke
because it sounds like it's connected to all the stuff that we were talking about with that.
What was that Godfather one? Godfather 3?
No, I thought the same thing. It wasn't that. He was saying I think there's a series on Netflix or something called The Godfather with Bumpy Johnson. That's what Nappy had that shit.
No, Godfather of Harlem. Yeah.
That's what I'm going to put into the discussion box too, because all these things, man, anything that helps to explain something and break something down, but we can understand it better, is definitely helpful to the cause, because it'll paint a clearer picture for those who may not understand it in a certain way or fashion. That'll be able to help the person put the pieces to the puzzle, so to speak, a lot better.
So like the big jigsaw.
Oh yeah, and they purposely made it that way.
They leave clues in all the films and stuff as well, shit like that. But I was watching, I don't know if you watched it, like a sci-fi, fairly old now, Stargate SG-1. I was watching that the other day, and there's an episode of that where the dude was basically, you were like hallucinating. I think he's like his wife had got killed or something like that. He was hallucinating she was there, but there was a few scenes where he woke up to a car honking, and then he woke up to a siren. I was like, yo, man, they're just referencing this fucking program in that. Like, that's the kind of shit they do to us. Like, we'll wake up, and it'll be a car honk, and we'll wake up, and it's a siren. This shit
Remember when you had brought up the possibility that 50 Cent in one of those tracks from his first album, he had mentioned, think about Jake knows when I'm awake. When
I know the song you mentioned now.
He was referencing remote neuromonitoring possibly.
Yeah, where it goes something like, who's that looking for my window? The Jake on me now. They know when I'm waking, they know when I sleep. Something like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm screaming down the phone, fuck Jake. That's it. Something like that, isn't it?
Jay-Z's, contributed money into human experimentation.
I didn't know that, but I totally believe it, and it makes sense.
Because that motherfucker's like his proper Freemason mother. He's into Crowley and all that shit.
Yeah.
That motherfucker had a t-shirt that says, do what I want. Crowley is a fucking, pedophile piece of shit.
Nappy.
Yeah.
Where did you get that from?
I believe it was a YouTube station, Christian guy. He did reviews on like rappers and like he did a lot of the dark side of. I don't know if you type in like the dark side of Jay-Z or the dark side of they do little commentaries on them.
Okay. And he actually admitted himself that he did, or what?
I'm not sure about him admitting that he did. This is just what the commentator said.
Okay.
Well, there's also something that I watched a long time ago. This is like early 2000s or late 90s. I actually got shown this from an old pastor, and he said don't show anyone else this video because it's very controversial for the church, and I believe in it. And, you know, and he was catching backlash from this a long time ago. The pastor's dead now, by the way, but I don't know how he died. I think natural causes or something. But it's called They Sold Their Souls for Rock and Roll. And it's a documentary about how a lot of these artists, they've did occult rituals or just like symbolic rituals, and some of them actual rituals, supposedly, you know. I mean, I'll give it benefit of the doubt because all the stuff's coming out in the light in the age of information. Like Snoop Dogg, he's sitting in Impala and he's smoking weed, and a demon's sitting next to him, and he gives him a deal, and then he smokes it, and the demon gets in him. You know what I mean? And like, what I think it was like, he wasn't smoking weed, he was smoking weed with Sherm in it, you know what I'm saying? That stuff will like put you in a euphoric, psychotropic realm where it's almost spiritual. You're seeing spiritual stuff. It's not weed. Weed's okay. I know when, you know, you guys know what I'm talking about, right? That video, Murder Was the Case They Gave Me? Yep. Yep. And exactly. Yep.
Sherm is angel dust, right?
Yeah, PCP.
Yeah, PCP, that's angel dust.
No, the same thing.
Yep.
That's what I mean. I'll just check it.
Because a lot of these people, they smoke that shit, you know, like, and that's what it was in the 90s. Remember that, you know, where they were lacing it with PCP back then, because the weed wasn't strong here on the West Coast. You couldn't get like, you know, bomb-ass weed back then. It was hard. I mean, and those videos were the mid-90s, early 90s, you know what I'm saying? And this documentary was done 90s, early 2000s. There's a whole series of these things. I'm talking about, there's like Limp Bizkit, there's people who, you know, like who else was it? Marilyn Manson, you know, talking about, like, because he's a Luciferian, you know, or he's a Satanist, not a Luciferian. He's a Satanist where he believes in I am God, and I give allegiance to the devil, and hail me, you know, influencing kids to stop going to church and believing in a God or religion, you know, and focusing on yourself and raising leaders, you know what I mean, and having a godless, not even just a godless society, a lawless society. And it was a very interesting documentary, because I really do believe a lot of that stuff is true, you know. There's some of it, I could say it's more of just rituals and just symbolic stuff, but then there is, I mean, when you get high up, there's stuff that we don't even know yet. If you apply a certain scientific method, that it almost looks spiritual to us, and not normal people can do it. You know what I mean? I mean, for lack of a better understanding. I mean, because look at it. How did, you know, Snoop Dogg just get just like that? You know what I mean? And he's making videos with the devil, you know what I'm saying? and he's smoking Sherm, and then all of a sudden, like, he just becomes, you know, influencing them with all these women, record deals and all that, and he got it. Look at DMX too, and he had a fallout because he didn't do what he was told to. He got the deal. He said, yeah, you know, he in one of his songs, he says, I run with the devil, so I'm one with the devil. You know what I mean? And he was literally meaning that. And when he repented, you know, they set his ass up with the, you know, he went to prison. You know, some of the times he did on his own, but I think for the most part he was set up. You know, watching some documentaries on him, and he hasn't been the same ever since. He's like almost crazy, you know. Like he went against their orders, and the guy that was explaining it in the video, he was talking about like how if you don't follow the orders, I mean, usually it's hard to get out anyways because you're indoctrinated. And if you do go against the orders, your life is just destroyed. You start looking like Cat Williams. You start looking like you'll get Tupac or Biggie Smalls. You know, that's what happened. You know, I mean, it's a very interesting documentary. You guys should watch. It has like some Christian views of it, you know, but for the most part, they're speaking a lot of truth about what's the conspiracy, occultic side of it, and the cultic nature of how everything's run in the elite, you know, organizations of, you know, the entertainment industry. It's very, very interesting. I really want you guys to check that out. It's all on YouTube too. Some clips here and there, you know. They banned some of the videos actually, because I remember some of them I couldn't even watch anymore. Just clips, you know.
I read years ago when I remember I was just trying to smoke. I had some weed off dude I got. I smoked it and like my vision went like a TV screen. I got like static all over my vision and I couldn't move for about 2 or 3 hours. I was like laid out on this grass field. My vision went fucked up. I've never had weed do that to me before since, so I reckon they put some shit like that in that weed. I don't know if it was PCP, but they put something that shouldn't have been in that shit. So back then, when I was first out smoking, I thought maybe it was weed and a reaction I had to it. And I'm thinking no more, I know now.
I know what you mean.
And all the time, and I'd get like this really paranoid feeling coming over me, and I think maybe it's my reaction to the weed. I reckon it was something.
Exactly, because I've had the same experience where I don't get paranoid when smoking weed, you know what I mean? Like, I'll have a peak, but you know what I mean? But I can handle it. But I remember one time I smoked some weed my buddy got, and like he was freaking out and I was freaked out. And this is like, I want to say late 90s, 2000s, about the same time, because there wasn't a lot of strong weed back then, you know what I mean? It always had to be like, you know, laced up, you know what I mean? When they sold it to you, it was always like crumbled up. It was never like a bud, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? That's just how it was back then. It's just brick weed, you know? I mean, we weren't smoking purple or anything like a lot back then. It was just all, you know, just this, you know, regular ass weed, you know what I mean? You get high off of it, but you ain't gonna get like paranoid, you know, you're just normal. And then one time we smoked it, we were just freaking out, you know, we were paranoid. Sitting there for a few hours, just like, what do we do? You know, like, I'm scared. Like, should we call the cops? Should we call the ambulance? Like, someone's watching me and shit, you know? I felt like when I would look in the peripheral of my vision, like, I would see spirits and stuff like that, you know?
Well, just like, the feedback on one of those old TVs, my vision went like that. Yeah, I've never had that.
Oh, I know what you mean.
My vision went all fucked up and I was like, I got a different dimension of how 2 or 3 hours and then I finally struggled up and it was like, I didn't know what the fuck happened, you know? And when he recalled what happened, I remember being fucked up. But wow. Like, I wasn't unconscious, but you know, I can't really recall. Yeah. Another thing that fucks you up like that, but worse than that, is selfish shit. That stuff fucks you up. That takes you to a whole different plateau and stuff, and it's not like, that's like the worst shit I've ever had to smoke was that selfish. I used to see videos of people smoking that, just pass out and start acting crazy. I'm like, the Native Americans smoke that shit. That shit's not a joke. When I smoked that, the last thing I remember was my vision like a triangle shape with like flashy colours, like a psychedelic old TV show or something, and I could hear voices that weren't, you know, like hallucinating. I know now. I wouldn't be surprised if they knew I was going to smoke that and they hit me with technology as well, kind of make it even more traumatic for me. But I couldn't move. I felt like I was going to die. So, like laying on the ground. Kind of, you know, something about like King, North, that shit is not nice. Yeah, basically hearing voices and shit, like shit. I won't be surprised if they hit me with technology to make voices as well, or making the scripts work. Because they probably knew I had that, and I was smoking. Yeah, you know, so when he does that, he'll hit him with technology to really traumatize him. They definitely use drugs on either in a clinical setting, if this section, well, you can't do that with your food, or they introduce drugs into your, you know, at the start of the call I was talking about here, about how, and your mind seems to be getting all kinds of drugs from ecstasy to, you know, methamphetamine, oxycodone, you know, tramadol, I think of, tramadol, and kinds of like hardcore shit. Like some prescription drugs, some illegal shit, at least. Almost unlimited way of sourcing these things. But, you know, maybe resourceful, and now all I know about this program, he was probably being, you know, told to do that. He was getting the drugs from these people. Yeah, man, there's like these drugs called hypnotic sleeping drugs, and those things fuck with your head, man. Like those things, you'd have one of them, you would basically be depersonalized for about a month or two, maybe 3 months. It took me a couple of years to feel normal after those things, you get the most horrific dreams on those drugs as well. Basically called hypnotic sleeping drugs, or hypnotics for sure. They were like a white and pink tablet. Those could fuck with your head, man. So I think knowing what I know now, it basically introduce these drugs into my life to try and, you know, traumatize me or get me addicted or something. Watch.
Also, in that the documentary I watched, there was also some people, some rock stars. You know, even they mentioned the Beatles. You know, remember when we were talking about Lester Crowley? They talk about it in how the Beatles were, you know, were very heavily influenced with that kind of stuff. You know, with Lester Crowley, and you know, they all look up to him. You know, he was the excuse me. That one was legitimate. And like there was even rock stars like Jimi Hendrix. He said that, like, you know, like I really, you know, the guy who's commentating, he said that they make deals with the devil. You know, I mean, even to the point where it's like in blood, something takes over you. You know. And they've even said that Jimi Hendrix would be playing on stage, and even one of the lead guitarists of AC/DC, that like something just comes over me and it takes over, and it's like I don't even know how I played like that. I don't even know what I was playing. I didn't even know if I was hitting the right, you know, chords or whatever. And he would just be taken away. Something takes over him, and you can hear it in some of the songs they said where. And even the songs now, I forgot what song it was, but it's like, you know, I think it was one of, I don't know if it was Beyonce's or Rihanna's songs, where she's talking about like something comes over me and just takes over, and I've lost all control. Or Katy Perry, one of those was a very poppy song.
Yeah, that's the sign of the Monarch program. Monarch program was cover also.
Right.
One of them was weird, only, and that's one called Untitled, something like that. I don't know I think it was Beyond. It was called weird. Now they're on stage, and she basically got and just personality change, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's a symptom of monarch programming, monarch mind control.
Okay.
They basically torture someone good for take their personality split, and then
wow.
They create what's called which is like not them. It's created in their mind, and then they can, you know, like the Bourne films, you know, where they can trigger him to become like this killer and shit, highly trained assassin. It's like they can create this altar in their head, and then they can them to, you know, like what RT was explaining with Mike Tyson a while ago, where he was explaining how Mike Tyson had been trained into a bloodthirsty fighter. Like, with this, the monarch programming is basically programmed whatever they want to be. Like with Britney Spears when she had that breakdown. That's the symptom of the monarch programming. They can't break down, then they have to be reprogrammed again.
Wow.
Yeah.
I remember RT was telling me something about that.
Yeah, about Mike Tyson. I have to agree with RT on that. That shit was definitely mind controlling me. The fact that they played that Phil Collins song, I could feel it in the end every time it came out. It's like that could be the trigger, you know what I mean? Triggers to the, you know. So it's like the trigger can be, just like with the dark NLP we use on those. But the trigger could be like audio, it could be visual, you know, anything. So, yeah, kind of shit to do that. Half of the celebrities, like Katy Perry and all that, they're mind control. They're monarch. Like Tom Cruise is one of them as well. That dude is one of them. And you'll see sometimes they break down, like they'll do weird things. That's because the monarch programming is very unstable. Like they're basically it's like a bomb that's made of an unstable explosive. It's formulated, but it can go off and it goes wrong. That's kind of like these people, like they kind of monarch programming is unstable, I guess, because it's formed in violence and trauma. So there's always going to be that trauma, because the altar is there, the real personality is there as well. It's like with Britney Spears when she put off her hair and shit, that was like her trying to break out of her program. She wasn't going crazy or nothing, she was rebelling from her. You have to go to
barely hear you, man.
Turn the shit out. It's real shit. There'll be that's how it goes. Like when they break down and do some crazy shit, they take them back to rehab, and then rehab is basically reprogrammed. Yeah, same shit. Yeah, tortured or drugged or whatever. Program. They start off. Most of them they start them off with kids. I mean, and you'll see in a lot of the music videos, you'll see the monarch butterfly symbol, the butterfly symbols, shit like that. There's more symbols than that, but you'll see the butterfly symbol. That's because it's like a visual figure, the monarch program. You know what I'm saying?
Is that what the butterfly effect was based on?
Yeah, because it's based off the monarch butterfly. That's what it's named after. It's because, I think they called it that because butterfly, you know how it goes from like a caterpillar into a butterfly? I guess they see it as like they're turning caterpillar into the butterfly being what they want it to be.
Like,
yeah, it's monarch programming. I'm sure you heard of it now.
oh,
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah. It's fucked up, man. Like, half of these celebrities, they're not even. People think they're like, oh, they're living it up and they're living a good life. And half of these people, not all of them, but a lot of them are actually mind control. And like, I mean, not just like the shit we go through, but they've been basically mind controlled and programmed from kids, you know what I mean?
They got them, you know what's crazy? They got them controlled down to the point where they can't, like, donate money to certain causes or people, like, you know, charities and what have you.
Yeah. They can't donate money to what, sorry?
Certain charities or what have you. Like, for instance, you know how they have certain charities that donate money to, like they have charities and shit.
Therapies that you say, or security, I can't really hear you that well.
No, charity.
Tyranny, did you say?
Like charities, like cancer associations or something like that.
Oh, charity?
Yeah.
Right, okay, sorry. I can't really hear you because they've made it quiet.
Like certain charities they can't donate their money to. It's celebrities have been like in jail pretty much.
Right. They do, but what I've heard, they basically do torture them from a young age and drug them. They basically use that as a way to program them. Like they use they basically program them with visual things like the method happens, like a sexual connotation to it. And other things, they'll have them, they've got personalities of celebrities and stuff. Like some of them, you'll see them posing as Marilyn Monroe, and some of them they'll pose as like, they'll use the Alice in Wonderland theme, or they'll use, something. The Wizard of Oz, that's another thing they use. So they use all kind of weird shit like that. And then basically operate some elements of that into the program sometimes. But a lot of them, you'll see they pose as Marilyn Monroe for some reason. I think that's because they try to incorporate, you know, things from the people they want them to be like. I suspect Marilyn Monroe was probably mind control too. She was like close to one of the presidents, wasn't she?
I think Kennedy.
Yeah, one of them. I suspect something going on there. I suspect this shit has been going on for a long time. I mean, probably east to like the 60s, 50s. Maybe before that, who knows? Probably the 1940s was when they started. A lot of these Nazi scientists that they brought over, that's where they got all this information from, you know, to start these programs, like the MK Ultra shit. That was from a lot of Nazi scientists. It's fucked up. It's like, you know, Americans and British have been fighting the Nazis and trying to get rid of them. And motherfuckers basically
that all the mad scientists and shit come into their governments and, you know, run these programs. That kind of shit. It's just fucked up.
Teaching their kids the trade, the tricks of the trade.
Yeah.
Right. That's the business.
And then they basically tell you, oh, you know, all this evil, and then basically letting all the most put people in the north that are not like the mad scientists and that into the country. It's like the Apollo rockets that went to the moon, that was developed by Nazi scientists as well. The moon landing, those rockets, they were built by the same people that made the the B-2 rockets that they fired at London. You know, the vengeance weapon. They have these massive rockets that are like the first missiles. That technology that they used in that was used in the Apollo rockets. F-5 rockets. That shit was Nazi scientists that did that as well. They won't tell you that though. Things that they do. That's one of the major things with the rocket science. Like the M60 machine gun that the US military used, that was based off the German weapon too. It's based off the Nazi, that's based off the MG40, which was a Nazi machine gun. All kinds of shit, man, they stole from the Nazis and then just ran with it, man. And then they act like it's their own shit. It's fucked up, man. Saying, oh yeah, we did this, and they basically got it from these fucking murderous Nazi scientists. The moon landing rockets, they got them on. It's crazy. But the whole fluoride in the water thing, they basically got from. Wow. I think it was the Nazis who did the research. Or the Russians. It was either the communists or the Nazis. They basically used that shit in camps. Basically, it subdued them in camps. Basically less violent or something. These Nazi scientists put them back in Operation Paperclip and just they didn't get any trials or anything like that, man. Even if they killed people, even if they like butchered people and genocide people and experimented on people, they didn't get any trials. They just basically said, right, we want you to work for us. It's just ridiculous.
Alright, fellas. I'm gonna get ready to shut the call down, man. It's over here, 10:28 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I'm assuming over there in the West Coast, it's 7:28 p.m. And I'm assuming over there where you at, there is, close to 2:30 in the morning or 3:30 in the morning? Yeah, man, I want to just take the time out to thank every one of the members of the squad that's been on this call tonight, man. Leena-Luukanen, shout out to you. Shout out to Nappy Head Roots. Shout out to Raw True 7 for your input, man. It's been definitely much appreciated, and I will be putting up within the description box all the links to the stuff that, or at least most of the stuff of the topics that we were discussing on the call. Rest assured that at this point, I'm going to get ready to shut down the call, and I can still do a private call with y'all on it if y'all want to. If y'all got to go, then I understand that too. But most definitely, we will be back next weekend with another one for everyone to stay tuned. Anybody else want to add anything before I shut the call down? Y'all free to say anything right now to shut the call down and you know, say whatever else that you want to say. Y'all more than free to do so. If not, then I'm going to shut the call down.
Yeah, I was going to say, you know, keep drawing awareness to people, you know, try different ways of, you know, talking to the perps, you know, because I found that if I didn't invoke any emotional response to them, they won't, you know, it's like they don't invoke any more emotional response, you know what I'm saying? So they have an easier way of masking it and just saying, well, I'm mad, you're mad, so I'm going to be mad. If you don't be mad and just call them out on their stuff, like I did with the little guy, you can see their body language, and that's where you can call them on their shit and then record that as evidence if it ever had to come to a lawsuit. And other people who have video footage of the body language and all that, you know, we can hold these perps accountable for it. So just, I would say, you know, find new methods. And if you got to yell at them sometimes, do it. Shoot. I mean, I always tell you that. You know what I mean? And I got that from you, for real, dude. I just do it, you know, because sometimes it gets overbearing, you know. Yeah, everyone else thinks you're crazy, but we already know what's up. But as long as you don't hurt anybody, I think you're good. You know what I mean? Just tell them what's up, you know, and let's continue to exposing these people, because this program can't last forever. It's very fragile, and that's why they keep doing what they're doing and creating more jobs and work. Keep this program going, because it could fall, I mean, in a twinkling of an eye if we get the right amount of people and the right method to do it and bring these perps to justice and start incarcerating or even possibly put some of these people to death so they can't breed this kind of behavior in America, UK, or even in the world, just in the world in general, you know, so we can make a better society that's fair and equal and, you know, and liberating for everyone else and not just benefiting to a certain race, class, or standard. And that's all I got to say about that. Thank you for having me on the call. RT, as always, thank you everyone else. Very thankful for all you guys, because, I mean, since much arguing, you know, I wouldn't have probably made it, you know, without being able to talk with someone like-minded. Everyone just says I'm crazy while benefiting off of me and getting a free job out of this, you know. Appreciate it.
Most definitely, man. That was very heartfelt, and your input, as always, is well appreciated within the squad. You made some tremendous valid points tonight, man, earlier today, alongside towards the middle of the call and even towards the ending. So most definitely appreciate and salute to you, man, for coming off your understanding of where you are now, man, and the advice that you, and tips that you gave, man. Much appreciated to you. Nappy, any words you want to drop before I shut the call down?
No, just, you know, everybody take care. Stay strong throughout this bullshit. See you next week.
No doubt. Night, anything you want to add on before I shut it down?
Really, I mean, I said too much. Said enough, you know what I mean?
I understand, man. I'm surprised you're still up with us, man, but I appreciate the fact that you did and stay up and try to hold on before you fell out. What y'all don't seem to understand is that Night, by this time, he's knocked out. He's not up at this time, man. So for him to be up, that shit is amazing, man. So that shows when he's determined to stay up for a worthy cause. Salute to you, brother. And with that said, I'm going to shut the call down, and we will be back next weekend.
shit. Y'all motherfuckers really don't know what this hip-hop's all about. Underground will live forever, baby. We just like roaches, never dying, always living.
They used to call us communists for fighting America. Now they call us terrorists to spread hysteria. Let me just say this without sounding redundant. Who the fuck really gains the most from blowing up London? And who really made Bin Laden the man that he is? The CIA and Saudi Arabia did. But that's the past and the future is here. Iraq was a design, so for some people the future is clear. A Christmas tree, pyramid with the star as an eye, like a satellite in orbit watching me from the sky. Every country wants a piece of the American pie, but that means you have to co-sign America's lies. So you can criticize human rights in Cuba and China, but not in Israel or the Philippines and places you find them that are allies of the country I live in, whose clothes are made by slave labor, women and children. Yeah, I know, pussy, we're all part of that hypocrisy too, but I don't front like it's democracy, Duke. I don't pretend troops are peacekeepers that don't murder, and they don't create colonies whose government service, moving them without economics like we share the tectonic plates in your vest are no good, nigga. The weapons are sonic. The war on terror evolved like strands of the chronic, from the biologic to the propaganda topics. But remember, the system can never stop what's been set into motion, like volcanic eruptions on the floor of the ocean. My purpose is to burst to the surface, immersed in the smoldering lava from verses, surrounded by murder mommies, not bitches that's worthless. I cut chicken heads off like hexes and curses. Weapons I purchase make Homeland Security nervous. I run pockets and purses like subway searches, robbing Masonic temples disguised as churches. I'm busy, nigga. I'll leave that one for you to interpret. You serpents are merchants of military industry murder. The beef is heating up like the mad cow in your burger. Fathom the cause of cattle cannibalism. Factory farms are like a fucking animal prison, a microcosm of Adam Smith's capitalism. That's America's real religion, giving as a mark of the beast to the Christians. The destruction of Babylon, motherfucker, that's my mission. Make some motherfucking noise, What the fuck is really good? And yo, next year, a lot of us rappers, we was invited to go out to Palestine and to Beirut, and I'm one of them niggas that's still going. Some pussy ass niggas backed out, but we're not gonna give them no free promo by saying who they are, but I'm still going, motherfucker. That's right. Scared of no place in the world. Our people are understand. We going everywhere. The Middle Passage album coming next year, a mixtape with Green Lantern. I'll cut your fucking head off. Yeah, come on. That's what it is. Give it up for Immortal Technique. Give it up.